Superdimensional Internet Cafe. This video is purely for entertainment and does not infringe on copyrights or laws. The rights to the novel and image belong to the original author. We do not claim ownership. Don't like waiting and want to listen to this fanfic in full now? Subscribe to our Patreon, where you'll find the best fanfics. Chapter 76, the strongest in history, the devil who devoured gods, the servant of death, the greedy wolf, the raging wind, facing the earth-shattering 4 consecutive raids. The Marquis of Woburn can be said to be brave. The ultimate burst of magic power drives the 3 major powers. With the servant of death and the pack of wolves, he has also become a giant werewolf. With the power of wind, rain and lightning, he can resist this. A devastating attack. Point boom. The huge mushroom cloud burst open, and a pothole with a radius of 10 kilometers appeared directly in Sardinia, which shattered the sea surface with a radius of thousands of miles around, causing a huge tsunami, and the entire Western Europe could feel the aftermath of the shock. Looks like Sardinia can't stay any longer in a classical castle, called the Witch's Mansion in Sardinia. A beautiful lady lay on the sofa. With a languid look, her eyes flashed with the light of spiritual vision. She saw the scene on the battlefield, and she was immediately frightened. At jump point he quickly got up and packed his bags, intending to leave Sardinia temporarily. This island and even this country now 003 may be destroyed at any time. Point, and this lady is the famous witch Luculasia in Sardinia, the original owner of the ancient magic book Prometheus. However, when she wanted to escape from the castle, her body suddenly froze. This voice, he wants to forcibly recruit me. After gritting her teeth and struggling in her heart, she changed direction and disappeared into the castle. Point, at this moment, the god King Mekl and the war god Velislana were all staring at the deep crater that was bombed in Sardinia, frowning slightly. Are all 5 of them demon kings? God King Mekl looked at Chen and his group and said in surprise that the attack range of these humans is extremely large, and they need to spend a lot of divine power to do this. No, without the aura of a fool, they should be mortals, but they are also a bit strange. The young military god said that he was unbelievable in his heart. Mortals can make devastating attacks. Apart from their lack of divinity, these mortals are almost unbelievable. There is no difference with them. Point, even the young man holding the Tianyuan Mutation had a powerful divinity, and his grade was close to their deity in mythology, but the total amount of divine power was a little less than that. White-robed warrior with glasses doesn't look like a mortal, but is a materialized spiritual body, a heaven and earth elf. Are you humans or gods? Athena, why are you standing with them? After the young military god saw Chen appeared, Athena rode a flying dragon to Chen's side and asked immediately, "It's better to care about your little lives than to care about our identity." Chen sneered, waved his hand, and motioned to Aizen and the others to continue to bombard the Marquis, not to let the Marquis get up in the pit, so that he and Athena could fight against the 2 gods with peace of mind. Oh, do you want to try to kill us as patients? Hahaha, then come on. The young military god roared wildly, swung the golden sword, and killed Chen. Point, the gods who do not obey or refer to the gods as patients, because in this world, the talent of blood cannot defeat the gods who do not obey, and it is only a confrontation. But the god slayer can kill the gods and create miracles. The demon king mainly relies on strong luck and various factors of favorable time and place. Point, the Marquis of Woburn was originally an orphan with a poor life. He didn't know magic or martial arts, but he became a god slayer. This is a miracle he created, so the god of disobedience has the capital to be proud. But for Chen, the god of disobedience is just prey. You who only know how to enjoy the battle and are extremely self-centered, can you be considered a true god? No, you don't even count as a complete life. Chen held the Tianyuan Mutation and faced the golden sword and sneered. Under the condition of possessing divinity, Chen's comprehensive strength is better than that of the war god, and he is well aware of the 10 powers of the war god, which is not false at all. Point, the young military god gritted his teeth. His strength was unable to suppress Chen. Stupid mortal, shameless, accept God's punishment. God King Mekl was furious and smashed down With a big stick point pin, Shinigami Scythe or Thena's Scythe became tenfold, blocking the weapon of the God King Mekl, and the red-eyed black dragon riding it even knocked the God King Mekl flying point at this time. Chen took the opportunity to cast the same light as the dust, widened the distance from the war god, and shot at the God King Mekl, back at 66 light prisons, the huge 6-branch light prison shackled the body of the God King Mekl at once, making him instantly stiff. Good chance, die. Frostmourne. Chen conjured the artifact, Frostmourne, out of thin air, exuding the power of darkness, and stabbed towards the God King Mekl at high speed. HMPH. I won't let you succeed. The young soldier saw that Chen had attacked his original prey, Mekl, during the battle with him. He was instantly furious, flew behind Chen with a powerful phoenix, and slashed Chen's head with a big golden sword. It's Su who's waiting. At this moment, Chen turned around and struck with a backhand, without dodging or evading, ignoring the great golden sword of the military god, and stabbed the military god with one sword in the abdomen. My sword. The pupils of the military god were enlarged like copper bells. The golden sword in his hand had already fallen into Chen's hands, and the magic book in Chen's arms exuded a golden light, the secret of Prometheus who stole the power of God. When the young military god was puzzled, when did Yi stole the golden sword? When I used the Kaikasujetsu Meteor Fall for the first time. I already touched your golden sword with the magic book, and I was able to steal this power at that time, but it may not be able to defeat you. I know you have resurrection power. I will not give you a chance. Saying that, the golden sword in Chen's hand stabbed into the heart of the god of war, severing his godhead, not giving him the slightest chance, and said lightly, goodbye. Frostmourne Dark Bite. Frostmourne instantly exudes a black hole-like devouring power, engulfing the war god Veluslana completely, giving him no chance to return to the myth at all. Ding. Devour the disobedient war god Veluslana, and obtain the crystallization of the war god's power, whether it is integrated. After killing the war god, Chen didn't need to go through the magic ceremony of the god slayer's adoptive mother Pandora to directly turn the war god's divine power into his own. Fusion. I saw Chen's eyes flashing. Boom. The golden divine power formed a beam of light, rushing into the sky. Piercing the sky, the powerful divine power shocked the god King Mekl, and the Marquis, who had just climbed up in the pit, was also frightened. This kind of power has surpassed the ordinary. For gods and gods, strictly speaking, only 3.7 are human beings who have obtained the power of gods, and they can be regarded as half humans and half gods, but this guy actually swallowed the war god directly. How strong should it be? P.S. I made a mistake in the last chapter. It is still very difficult for Eluoheo to try God, only by relying on his own bloodline talent, so he changed it to the only level where he could fight against the gods, by relying on his bloodline talent, and it was possible to block, but invincible point at the same time. The laws of different worlds are different. The hard power of the big guys like Aizen is not weak, but the laws of the God Tester world are more beneficial to the gods of disobedience and god killers. If you go to the world of Zingayu, the gods of disobedience, it will have the same limitations as the heroic spirit. However, the protagonist will not have restrictions, which is related to the physique of the protagonist. Chapter 77 Pandora's Amazement. A dazed and chaotic space, infinitely vast, is born in the world of immortality, the sleeping place of the god of disobedience, and the residence of the god killer's adoptive mother. Pandora points as the witch in myths and legends, the mythical administrator of the world of judges, and the parents of the gods. Pandora looks like a lovely younger sister next door, with long purple hair with double ponytails, and a pure temperament with a hint of charm. Impressive point just now. If the ceremony of the gods started, Chen would definitely see her, and she would also ask Chen's origin point. It's a pity that Chen devoured the war god Varys directly. That guy actually devoured the stinky little guy of the war god. It seems that in the next few hundred years, there will be no more war gods, and he will become the strongest god in history. Pandora's thin jade fingers gently tapped on her thin cherry lips, exclaiming in her heart point, the god of disobedience broke free from the myth, and appeared in the world. After the miracle working human beings are killed, they return to mythology point. In the process of returning to the myth, She started a magic ceremony and gave a power of a disobedient god as a reward to the god, and the devil was born. The god killer ritual is conditional. The god of disobedience must be close to full state. He must defeat the god of disobedience and give a fatal blow by himself. And killing a god of disobedience can only get one power. The original Grass 20 Najinata Godao got the 10 incarnations of the power of the war god, which is a combination of 10 powers. But this way, the restrictions are extremely large. Each power has activation conditions and can only be used once a day. Because Kusanagi Godao does not know magic, martial arts, and alchemy, he can only wait for a cooldown after 10 skills are used, and he can hardly do anything. Hang and beat point. But Yi Chen was different. Yi Chen completely devoured Velaslana's divine power and power. Although it took a while to digest, there was no limit to the use of any power. The only limit was divine power. As long as Yi Chen's divine power is sufficient, he can use his power any way he wants. It can be said that Yi Chen obtained 10 powers at once, and the divine power he holds directly surpasses that of the Marquis and Eluozeo, because the Marquis Eluozeo is only the best among the demigods, and there are certain restrictions on the use of powers. Even Yi Chen is now stronger than the general god of disobedience. Because the god of disobedience broke free from the myth, and is also subject to the myth. For example, the god of disobedience of the Crusaders will be killed by the holy relic, the Spear of Longinus. For example, the war god Velaslana used to be loyal to the god of light Mithra, and those who received the power of the war god would be restrained to death when they encountered Mithra. But Yi Chen won't. He just devoured the power of the war god. He is not the war god himself, and has no master-servant relationship with Mithra. He ignores these mythological constraints. Therefore, Pandora said bluntly, Yi Chen will be the strongest god in history. Fortunately, no matter how he looks at it, he is the enemy of those dream demon squads, and the power of the people he brings is not from this world. So interesting. Pandora silently looked at Yi Chen's figure in the world of the world, and her eyes were full of light. At this moment, on the shore of Sardinia, Yi Chen felt an unprecedented powerful force. After integrating the crystallization of the military god's divine power, is this the true strength of the god of disobedience? If there is no mythology, it would be easy for the god of war to destroy Sardinia. Yi Chen suppressed the surging divine power in his body and exclaimed, as a military god, Velaslana is also the guardian of the kingship and the people, so his true destruction has dropped a lot in the human world. So it seems that, as the most famous god king in the Mediterranean, Mekhl, his destructive power should also be cut a lot. It's no wonder that the god of disobedience will always look aloof in the face of the god testers. Even if the gods have more power, there is still a gap between them and them. After Yi Chen learned about the true strength of the god of disobedience, his contempt for the god king Mekhl was reduced a bit. It seemed that he really needed that woman to kill Mekhl easily. I didn't expect that you devoured Velaslana. What a terrible patient. No, you have been upgraded to a god and demon now. God King Mekhl shouted solemnly, and the conceited God King also recognized Yi Chen's strength. Damn it, it's just a kid who stole my prey with little tricks. The Marquis stared at Yi Chen furiously. He thought that the god of war was supposed to be the fish on his plate, but he didn't expect the meat in his mouth to be eaten by Yi Chen. Did I let you speak? Yi Chen waves and at Kaikasujetsu, and the Marquis' pupils froze instantly. When he forcibly broke free from Kaikasujetsu's illusion, the black flame bullet of the red-eyed black dragon was only 3 feet away from him. Boom. The Marquis was blasted with black flames and flew several hundred meters away. You are no match for me now. Yi Chen gave the Marquis a contemptuous look. With sufficient divine power, the Marquis cannot directly destroy his Kaikasujetsu unless the Marquis knows how to crack Kaikasujetsu or has the power to crack the illusion. He will never be able to defeat Yi Chen in this life. Damn, your strength is obviously very strong. Why? Because a lot of magic power had been spent before. The Marquis didn't take action immediately after getting up, but stared at Yi Chen with gnashing teeth and asked, why do you have such strength? Why do you need small tricks? Yes, even if I don't need a strategy, I can try to kill the war god, and I can defeat you. But if you can do things with one effort, why do you have to use two? Yi Chen glanced at the Marquis, as if looking at an idiot, and chuckled lightly. Well said. Aizen clapped his palms in approval, agreeing with the leader's approach, and he would have done the same point. Obviously you can use wisdom plus force to kill the enemy in seconds. Why use 100% of your strength to go all out? As long as you're not an idiot, you know how to choose. Uchiha nodded and said, he and Aizen are the same kind of people. Their brains are not sick. They are not as brainless as the heroines of those hot-blooded comics, who do everything with passion. Blood alone can save the world. Uchiha doesn't believe it. If there is such a person, Uchiha 003 class directly ate the keyboard of the Superdimensional Internet Cafe. Hey, you guys. The Marquis was so angry that a mouthful of old blood spurted out and waved his sleeves angrily. Remember me? After speaking, the hurricane rolled around the body and disappeared in Sardinia. Is it just like this? It seems that his consumption is very serious. Chen thought that the Marquis would fight him desperately. Master, in fact, that old guy is a very secretive person, not as arrogant as he looks, Athena explained lightly. The Marquis couldn't beat Chen. Plus Chen was surrounded by strong people like her and Aizen. The Marquis took so many attacks and consumed a lot of energy, and it was even possible that he had used the resurrection power just now, so the Marquis knew that he should run away as long as his mind was fine. If the three gods of servants were all targeting the Marquis instead of an indiscriminate fight, the Marquis might have fled at the beginning. Haha, the god slayer really isn't easy. Chen nodded and ignored the Marquis. Anyway, if you kill the Marquis, you won't get power. Killing him is useless, and there will be a chance to clean him up in the future. Now it's your turn, God King Mekl. Chen turned his head, looked at Mekl, who had no choice to escape, and said lightly, come on, let me see how far you've brought the Welleslana guy's powers into play. God King Mekl roared, as you wish. Chen brandished the golden sword and said with a fierce fighting spirit, Chapter 78 The Final King, the battle is over. Come on. Chen used the power phoenix, transformed into a phoenix phantom, and rushed towards the God King Mekl at the highest speed in the world. Exile, the roar of wind and thunder. The God King Mekl wielded a pair of huge stone sticks. It was his artifact that banished and repelled Chen, forcibly blasted Chen, and called for the storm to drop 3,000 white thunder god spears to the ground. Thunder, I will too. Chen powers the goat with one hand. The golden goat phantom absorbs the thunder clouds in the sky and sends out golden lightning to disperse the 3,000 thunder spears that hit him. The white horse of power. Chen aimed one head at the sky. The sky was shining with the return of the sun, and a flaming white horse landed, carrying the high temperature of the sun, and blasting towards the God King Mekl like a beam of light running. The sun bursts. God King Mekl roared, and he burst out the flames of the sun, attached to a pair of artifact stone rods, struggling to block the flames of the white horse. Boom. The fire of the sun collided, exploded instantly, and swept all directions. At this moment, Athena and the red-eyed black dragon both retreated a certain distance in the air, while Aizen, Uchiha, Whitebird, and Magneto in the distance did not dare to approach the battlefield and could only watch from a distance. It was a shocking fight. Magneto looked at the battlefield where the lightning and flint flickered constantly and exclaimed, it's not at the same level as just now. Whitebird sighed, the gap between him and the leader and the gods is huge. I didn't expect the leader to become the strongest god, still unable to crush the God King Mekl. Uchiha face was a little ugly. The leader of the team hasn't mastered this new power yet. He deliberately used the hand of the God King Mekl to hone himself. It's useless if you don't see Kaikasu Jetsu. Aizen said lightly, but God King Mekl is obviously stronger than before. Whitebird frowned, because the ruler does not have the power to bind himself with myths. The God King Mekl has also stimulated his potential and temporarily released the myths. Athena said lightly, does the god of disobedience become strong when strong and weak when weak? Uchiha asked, no, it should be said that the strength of the god of disobedience is a lower limit, of which is similar to that of the god, and the upper limit is the self who has no myths at all. Aizen dragged his chin and analyzed, my concubine's wisdom tells me that your wisdom is not a mouse. Athena glanced at Aizen slightly and said lightly, I'm really flattered to be praised by the goddess of wisdom. Cade, Aizen polite point. Athena lightly retracted her gaze, turned to Chen on the battlefield, and said softly, the battle is over, huh? Aizen looked at the battlefield, frowning slightly. He couldn't see where the decisive point was at this moment on the battlefield. The team leader and God King Mekl are still in a split, and God King Mekl has a lot of power, which seems to be no less than the power of the war god. The key lies in knowledge. Athena said lightly point. As soon as the words fell, Chen opened the distance from the God King Mekl. The warm-up is almost done, and the power has been controlled a lot. It's time to end. Fighting is the fastest way to get familiar with one's own strength. Chen has obtained a huge improvement in both power and divine power through the battle with the God King Mekl, so it is time to kill Mekl. Hahaha, let's fight to the death. Let's do it. God King Mekl roared boldly. This battle was very enjoyable and really fun. Come out, Luculasia. Chen shouted. A whirlwind of magic flashed in the void, and a blonde lady stepped on the whirlwind and fell beside him. King, my concubine is here to meet you. Point. The visitor is the Witch of Sardinia, Luculasia Zala, one of the top magicians in the world. Her strength is not comparable to the gods and the gods of disobedience, but she is somewhat confident in the face of divine beasts of. Your choice is wise. Are you ready? Chen said lightly. You can dedicate yourself to my king at any time. Luculasia said with a blushing face. As a witch, she is much older than her young appearance, but it is still the first time in some things. Point. Very good. Chen nodded. No nonsense. Hugged Luculasia and bit her red lips. Point. The golden light exploded, and the entire world on the shore of Sardinia suddenly entered a different space, where the sky and the world were filled with golden swords. Damn stinky gold. God King Mekl broke away and scolded. Point. The war god Velaslana was not originally a god in the first echelon. It was because of the golden sword that this divine sword could kill the godhead, and thus became a god king. At the beginning, he fought the war with the war god and suffered both losses. The injury was even more serious because of the divine sword, but he didn't expect Chen to use the maximum power of the golden sword, and the maximum power of the Excalibur requires the knowledge of the opponent's mythology. What a mistake. I had known that Chen would not be given a chance to gain mythological knowledge about him. Do you regret it, Merkel? No, bah. Chen hugged Luculasia and smiled slightly. Point. God King Mekl's body is actually Baal. So he has the godhead of the hell demon Baal. So he also has the power of the underworld and can greet the hell army. At the same time, because Mekl is the king of gods, he is also the god of storms, the god of the sun, and the god of the sea. As long as he wants, he can use hurricanes to directly blow away the cities where human beings live. Point. It can send out floods, tsunamis, and thunder with the same range as Thor's Enel, but with higher damage. In addition, in mythology, the worm is a servant of Merkur, so Merkur also controls the harvest and locust plague, and is the god of life. Chen summoned this god-killing space after learning about the full divinity of the god king. Mekl. Point. In fact, Chen can defeat Mekl without trying the Excalibur, but his ultimate goal is to devour, so Mekl must be beaten down first. Even Chen's god-killing space can be used without mythological knowledge, however, because it has just merged with the crystallization of the divine power of the war god. If you want to exert the greatest power of the god-killing space, you still need the help of Mekl's mythological knowledge. It needs someone who knows enough about the history recorded by Mekl, and Luculasia Zala, the Witch of Sardinia, is undoubtedly the best candidate. The way is to let her transfer magic through inner contact with Chen's body. Remember, lip to lip is the most direct way. Point. Of course, Athena can also be the goddess of wisdom. Chen felt that Athena might refuse, and directly chose Luculasia, who could not refuse. Come on, I won't admit defeat. Mekl roared, holding a pair of great artifact sticks. No, you will definitely lose. Chen waved his hand, and the thousands of golden swords in the space were aimed at the god king Mekl, pouring down without a single pause. Point. Mekl swung his artifact to resist with all his might. Point. Stop driving meow meow meow. But under the absolute number of suppression, Mekl was finally defeated, and his body was beaten into a hornet's nest by the Excalibur. He lowered his head and half knelt on the ground. Chen came to Mekl with Luculasia in his arms and looked at him lightly. Point. Mekl looked up at Chen and said dully, cough, Cough. I didn't expect that I would still lose to that golden sword. No, you didn't lose to that sword. You lost to me. Chen said lightly. Really? Yes. Ha 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 ha. A very happy battle. I hope to see you again. The nameless god and demon. Mekl laughed in relief, and then Chen turned Frostmourne into his hands, pierced the god king Mekl, and launched Dark Devour. The war between gods and demons in Sardinia has come to an end. The main world, a superdimensional internet cafe. Wow, the leader of the team, you are amazing. Liu clapped and shouted excitedly, it's good, yeah, double kill the gods and return with a reward. Shizi nodded and said, and I'm still holding the beauty back. Merlin said with a smile, many dapigs trotters, you are tired and crooked. Liu said, yes, and slandering the team leader. Shizi said, don't think that the leader is like you. He just borrowed the witch's knowledge. Alice also stood in Aqua's camp this time and attacked Merlin. This goddess forbids you to speak ill of Chen. Aqua had some taste. You all criticize me one by one. Did I provoke you? Merlin was speechless. Women are unreasonable, Master Merlin. King said lightly, what did you say? Say it again. Shizi stared at King and said, actually, men don't like reasoning the most. They all talk with their fists. King said embarrassingly. Mutogame secretly rejoices. Fortunately I did not participate in this topic. It's amazing that the task is completed, and it is successful. Why hasn't Chen come back? Aqua muttered, it's her, she's here. Merlin watched the live broadcast, and was surprised when he found a girl who suddenly appeared in Sardinia. Chapter 79. Luoheo said, singled out all the members of the internet cafe. She, in the internet cafe, Aka, Kasumi Shiko, Rocker, Alice, Mutogame and others all looked at the computer. Under the immersive effect of the live broadcast, they all felt the real face of the Hanfu girl who suddenly appeared. The girl is 17 or 18 years old. Her facial features are delicate, and not like human beings. Her temperament is ethereal and unique, and she does not stick to the world, just like a goddess. This kind of beauty is no worse than the goddess Athena, or even better. 3,000 black silks shone like silk. At this moment, he was standing proudly in the void, overlooking Chen and the others. This girl is so strong. She feels a little more powerful than the Marquis before. Who is she? Under the influence of being there, Laozi frowned. He could feel Luo Tao's extraordinariness, which is the breath of a heavenly person. But unfortunately she is not a real heavenly person, just a heavenly person. Perhaps, because of the limitations of the Godslayer world, her becoming a Godslayer is the limit. No matter how talented she is, she can't become a god. Although I don't have extraordinary abilities, I can still feel her strong and cold aura. Shizi felt that Luo Yang's aura was really strong. Stronger than the goddess Athena. It won't be a behind the scenes boss. Remember that every world has a protagonist and a behind the scenes boss. Eyeing Lily said 003, and also deliberately glanced at Sage Megumi. Why are you looking at me? Sage Hui has an innocent face. What kind of boss is she? The heroine killer of the everyday world. She is a godslayer. But she is not included in the memory video given to us by the leader of the group. Merlin explained. Merlin could still clearly perceive the aura of the Godslayer. That made gods and demons fearful. She should be what the leader of the group said just now. The strongest Godslayer before. Luoheo, the demon king of China. Mutogame said. Luoheo was the strongest among the Godslayers before. But now, of course, he is the strongest team leader. Gods, just gods, demon kings, suddenly feel that my world is still very happy. King murmured. Although his world has all kinds of monsters, ghosts can destroy towns, dragons can destroy cities, and even legendary god level monsters can destroy the world. But the world as a whole is still under human domination. Mainly because of the bald-headed devil, but the world of gods is even more terrifying. From time to time, there will be a god of disobedience. All of them are natural disasters. If there is no resistance from the devil, it is estimated that they will be destroyed long ago. I don't know if the first S-rank hero blast has the strength of a demon king. King secretly said in his heart. If possible, He really hoped that a Demon King level boss could be born in his world. At least the Demon King would protect his territory and would not let weirdos mess around. Why did Luoheo appear? Shizi raised her eyebrows, feeling that things were not simple. HMPH, who knows, she looks so cute. Maybe she wants to do something to Chen. Aqua muttered, hey, Goddess Aqua is also jealous? Alice smiled, thinking that the stupid sister Aqua finally realized this kind of grief. What is Vinegar? Aqua asked cutely, blinking her eyes. She can purify all water sources. If it wasn't for her liking to drink and deliberately suppressing her divine power, she would be no different from drinking plain water. As for being jealous, she really doesn't know what Vinegar tastes like. Well, the body structure of the goddess is really enviable. Alice said, a little discouraged. No, I think if you gain something, you lose something. There is no need to envy the goddess as a human being. Shizi silently glanced at Aqua's perfect head and said, so, what are you talking about? What's wrong with me? Aqua shouted, waiting for Shizi. Shizi looked surprised. I didn't expect Aqua to react so quickly this time. Is this a big fool? You guys should watch the show quietly. I think Luo Liang is going to make trouble, and I can feel her murderous aura. At this moment, Merlin frowned. Murderous? She is a member of an internet cafe. Why are they murderous towards the leader of the group? Shizi couldn't understand Luo Liang's thinking. Who knows? Merlin spread his hands at this moment. The Godslayer world. Sardinia. Cat. Miss Luo. Why are you so murderous? People who don't know think I'm your enemy. Chen didn't understand. He didn't offend Luoheo. Why did Luoheo stare at him? Under Luo Liang's murderous aura, Lucurasia in his arms was frightened, trembling with fear, his heart speeding up. The waves were turbulent and continuous. Stepping on Chen made his body a burst of anger. Wanting to, it was a little uncomfortable to vent like a volcanic eruption. Miss Luo, please address the sect leader of the 5 prisons. In this world, except for the Demon King, everyone who sees this leader must gouge their eyes, and anyone who hears the leader's voice must have their ears cut off. This is a rule, but for the sake of you two, the Demon King, you should be excused. Luoheo said lightly, what kind of rule is this? Chen's face was full of black lines. He remembered that Luoheo had such rules, but why did he follow them? Wait, you shouldn't be angry, because you couldn't dig out other people's eyes. Chen said in amazement, and suddenly figured out Luo Tao's brain circuit. Luoheo is very narcissistic, so she does not allow others to see her, no matter male or female. When they saw her and heard her voice, they would gouge out their eyes and cut off their ears. But now she can't hurt Whitebird and others, because they are all members of internet cafes. This sect leader is not so boring. Luoheo exclaimed. She was angry, because she wanted to take action against Aizen and the others, but she foresaw that she would not be able to hurt Aizen and others. Although Luculasia can be hurt, but with Chen's protection, she can't move, and she disdains to do something to a weakling like Luculasia. In her eyes, Aizen, Archer, Magneto, and Whitebird are undoubtedly the real powerhouses, and even if they are not demon kings, they are also qualified to fight her. It is rare to meet such a strange person. Luoheo just wants to defeat them and earn her 5 prisoned sacred religion. Then what is your purpose? Chen is not a maggot in Luo Liang's stomach. How does she know what she thinks? What power did you use to prevent this sect master from taking action against your people? And what is an internet cafe? Why does it keep bringing in this sect master's mind? Is the person who bombed Lushan just from yours? Are you provoking the sect master? Luoheo said, sister, you have so many questions. Which one should I answer? Chen sneered, all. Luoheo said without doubt, sister, I think you need to clean up. Chen said with a smile, then let's do it. This sect master will deal with you all alone. Luoheo said with great confidence. Even though she saw Chen devoured the God King Mekl with her own eyes, she still had invincible confidence in herself. You singled out all of us. Chen can't help laughing. It seems that Luoheo really needs a good training. P.S. There are 8 updates today. The update is a bit late. Readers can go to bed first, wake up tomorrow morning and refresh to see Chapter 80 Yi Chen, if I have a little blood, you win. Yi Chen felt that Luo Heo really needed a good training. Luo Heo was very arrogant and had the capital to be arrogant, but her current state of mind was similar to that of Enel. Blindly confident in his own strength and arrogant. Of course, Enel is a frog at the bottom of the well, and his strength is far from reaching the peak of his world. And Luo Liang is really capable and talented, and is one of the two Dugu seeking defeat in the Godslayer world. The other is Dugu Kiui, the god of war. It was the war god Wereth Lana that GD killed. The war god felt that he was too invincible, so he summoned the god king to fight with him, and the result was not defeated until Yi Chen ended his invincibility myth. Now that Yi Chen has even killed Wells Rana, how could he be afraid of Luo Yang? Even though Luo Liang's talent is the best in the world, he is still not Yi Chen's opponent. It's better to take this opportunity to convince this girl. She is also a super potential stock in the Superdimensional Internet Cafe, and there are not a few magic tricks that can be recharged. Yi Chen smiled wickedly in his heart, and then said, "Are you sure you want to single out all of us?" "That's right, it's a one-on-one fight against all of you," Luo said very calmly. Even if Athena was on Yi Chen's side had the advantage in total combat power, but she still did not flinch. The strong are invincible. It refers to the heart. The heart is invincible, so there is no fear. Yi Chen can also see that Luo Heo has such a strong heart, astonishingly talented, with an invincible Taoism, and strong enough luck to kill gods. If you give her a wider sky, her future achievements are unimaginable. Sister, I think you are very suitable to go to the fantasy world. Maybe you can prove the Dao Emperor. After thinking about it, Yi Chen said with a smile, "What kind of great emperor Zheng Dao?" Luo's eyes lit up, and the expression Zheng Dao is very common in the East, but she has never heard of the great emperor Zheng Dao. Want to know? I'll talk about it when you win. Yi Chen whetted Luo Liang's appetite, but changed the subject, and returned to business. Very good. Untie the bondage of power. I will fight with you. Luo Heo readily agreed. No, I don't need us. I will fight you alone. Yi Chen said lightly, "Just you? Do you think I'm an old waste of woman, and will be frightened, and run away by a newcomer like you?" Luo Heo snorted softly, "Ha ha." Yi Chen couldn't help but smile. In fact, the Marquis is not weak. He is second only to Russell in the Godslayer, and his power is more and more difficult. But now Luo Liang devalued him for nothing. If the Marquis was present, he would have vomited blood, but he only lost once, no matter how anyone could step on it. But Yi Chen didn't like the Marquis either, so he didn't care how Luo Liang belittles the Marquis. "What are you laughing at?" Luo Heo asked with squinting eyes. "I'm thinking, it's more boring than fighting like this, so it's better to add some color to the head." Yi Chen smiled with jumping eyes. "Keitao, what do you want?" Luo Heo is narcissistic but not stupid. She won't be easily fooled by Yi Chen. "If I lose, I will listen to you. You have to do the same when you lose. Of course, I only accept heads up, and I will choose the venue. You can rest assured, that is where we can all exert our greatest strength." Yi Chen faintly wrote, "Okay, alright." Luo Heo knew that Yi Chen had bad intentions for her, but she believed in her own strength, and she was no weaker than others in her life. Very good. Yi Chen smiled, walked to Athena, and told her a few words, let her take care of Luculasia for the time being, and promised to restore her Trinity power. "I understand, thank you." Athena nodded and agreed. Then, Yi Chen and Guang Tangchen appeared in front of Luo Heo, and held her softness. Before she could make a move, they said, "Settle the mission." Zero asking for flowers in an instant. Silver light flashed on the shore of Sardinia. Aizen, Archer Hamadara, Whitebird, and Magneto all returned to their own worlds, but Yi Chen took Luo Heo back to the internet cafe in the main world. Magic. Luozi appeared in an unfamiliar fantasy realm, teleported immediately, opened the distance from Yi Chen, and was very vigilant. "Don't be nervous, this is a super-dimensional internet cafe." Yi Chen said lightly, "This is an internet cafe." Luo Heo's residence was in Lushan for 200 years, and this was the first time he entered an internet cafe. The first experience in 200 years is really a precious first time. You can try playing with the computer. I believe you will like it here. Chen said lightly. 00HMPH. How could I, Luo, play with things and lose my mind? Luo Liang said disdainfully. Really? Archer Hamadara said that before. Merlin teased with a smile. Soul projection? It has the aura of gods and demons. Luo Liang saw Merlin's eyes light up, and his fighting spirit was awe-inspiring. Hey, you can't do anything in an internet cafe, except for the team leader. Merlin quickly spread his hands. He didn't want to fight the god's lair. It was too troublesome. Let's duel here. Are you not afraid to destroy this place? Luo Heo said, if you can destroy a cup here, I will raise my hand and surrender. Chen chuckled. Flying Phoenix Divine Palm. Luo Heo was unconvinced and slapped the computer table with a decisive slap. What? With a clear sound. The computer desk did not move at all, still as smooth as jade, without damage. How could this be? Luo Tao shook his swollen palm and stared at Chen. She actually slapped her hand swollen. What the hell is this place? I said. Here, we can exert the greatest strength for each other. Chen held his hand, and the corner of his mouth raised slightly. Now you can do it, as long as you hurt a single hair on me, or draw a little blood from me, even if you win. Superior. Chapter 81. Tony is really fragrant sterk. I won by hurting a single hair of your hair? Well, that's what you said. In the face of Chen's provocation, Luo Heo did not back down, and tried his best to use his power, the great King Kong skill, and the 12 divine palms of Fifeng. The incomparably ingenious 12 tricks that contain the essence of martial arts, turned into 12 phoenix shadows, and bombarded Chen intensively. Go on, work hard. And Chen, who was absolutely invincible in the internet cafe, looked at Luo Yang leisurely. No matter how she attacked, he would not fight back. Anyway, there was no damage, not even his clothes were torn. When will the bright moon be there? Ask King Shen for the wine. Luo Heo uttered the sound of nature, driving the second power tiger or dragon Yandaffa, in the form of sound wave power, to increase the power of the first power and Fifeng divine palm. It's a pity that her powerful high intensity attack still failed to cause any damage to Chen. Whoa. After 10 minutes of attacking Chen, a drop of sweat appeared on Luo Heo's lovely and pretty face, staring at Chen with unyielding eyes, gritted his teeth and said, impossible. What kind of power are you? No matter how strong it is, there is also a limit. It is impossible not to break your defense. Give up. If you give up, then admit defeat. Chen said lightly. Luo Heo's generation 007 will not admit defeat. Luo Heo snorted, flashed his palm with lightning, and continued to bombard Chen. Bowie. Chen smiled and shook his head, sitting leisurely on the seat of the internet cafe, letting Luo Heo massage him. Okay, go on, push harder. Not bad. There is no suspense after watching this game. Whitebird chuckled. This is to be expected. When the leader of the team said the bet, he was obviously setting up a bit. Laozi said leisurely, Father, when I saw this Demon King, I remembered me back then. Enel said with some self-deprecation. If it wasn't for Whitebird to wake him up, he felt that he might have been beaten to death by the leader. You are indeed not as good as the sect master. The sect master is stronger than me. Whitebird nodded and admitted that he was not as good as Luo Heo. No, I believe Daddy will become stronger than anyone else. Enel firmly supported Whitebird. In his heart, Whitebird was the strongest. Really, your father is the strongest, and that group leader is there. Merlin teased with a smile at this time. Team leader, can you be considered human? Enel said in a low voice. Dad is the strongest, but the team leader is invincible. He can't compare at all. Hey, I can hear you. Chen rolled his eyes. What do you call him, a human? He doesn't seem like a human. Cough. Sorry for the leader. Enel said apologetically. It's not an example. Chen waved his hand, and this time he let Enel go. He lost the fruit to himself. so he didn't bother to punish him for such a trivial matter. You don't even look at me. Damn it. Seeing that she was fighting and Chen was still chatting, Luoz suddenly felt that her self-esteem was frustrated, and she exploded her incantation more and more madly. Hey, this sect leader is very sincere. Obviously he can't beat the team leader. Why do you have to work so hard? Merlin chuckled lightly. Lord Luo is indeed very powerful, but the true strength of the leader is beyond what she can imagine. Aizen's eyes flickered. Judging from the current performance, the leader of the group seems to be invincible only in internet cafes, but Aizen does not think so. Because the team leader is an extremely calm and wise person, and will not easily expose his cards. Since he shows his invincible side in the internet cafe, he must have another invincible side. But in fact, Aizen thinks too much. Smart people like to think too much. Chen doesn't have the other side of invincibility, but he does have another whole card, which is a unique trick he thought of himself. But if it is not necessary, he will not use that trick. Yeah, but I will surpass Luo Heo soon. As long as I become Sage of Six Paths, I plan to rely on internet cafes to resurrect myself. That kid Obito can't believe it. Uchiha Madara believes that Sage of Six Paths will never be weak to the god of disobedience. It seems that I have to find a way to finish Gyokure early and replace the Spirit King in the future. Aizen squinted his eyes and said secretly, I have decided that the mysterious side and the scientific side will develop in two directions. After Magneto experienced the world of the gods, he felt that he had to do both. In the Godslayer world, the mystery is above everything else, but in other worlds, what if science suppresses the mysterious side? So double repair is the best. And this time, Magneto really got it right. Some worlds have entered the era of the end of the law, suppressing all mysterious powers. At that time, the power of technology will become extremely important. Oh. Then what is Magneto's lord going to do? Aizen asked with great interest. In fact, he also wanted to study the scientific side, and he happened to have that kind of talent. In the Shinigami world, there is only one scientist who can match him in terms of intellectual talent, Urahara Kisuke, but Urahara Kisuke's hard power is not as good as Aizen, so it is not a cause for concern. First of all, I plan to save Tony in my world and let him be my godson willingly. Magneto. Aizen was speechless. Not to say that this is not a good way, it is indeed an excellent waypoint, because Tony's scientific talent is indeed top notch. Nothing to say. Hey, you big bosses, is it really okay to discuss your own conspiracy in front of everyone? And Magneto, do I have a grudge against you and actually want to be my father? At this moment, Tony's soul projection was blown out, and he angrily accused Magneto in the internet cafe. He just played down in the cave for one night, but he didn't expect that Magneto would be shouting to be his father. Dear child, isn't it bad to have your father covering you? I got 2000 membership points for this reward mission. Do I need to give you Huahua points? Magneto sneered. This task of Zao lifted Magneto out of poverty all of a sudden. Because the credits were equal, the system decided to divide it equally, and 2000 points was not a small number. Damn capitalism. Tony hummed. As the richest man in Marvel and the #1 capitalist in the West, he never thought that one day he would complain about capitalism. I can give you 500 membership points directly. Magneto said, don't think about it. Tony, is a man of backbone. Even if I starve to death in a cave and be beaten into a sieve by armed men, I will never bow my head for the mere 500 members. Tony sneered. 1000 member points. I don't need you to be my son, as long as you agree to this. Magneto said, I don't need to call you. You will give me 1000 membership points, as long as I agree to this? Tony, hi, is there such a good thing in this world? Of course, you agree or disagree, Magneto said. Tony was moved and silent. The dead Daoist is not as good as the poor Daoist. Anyway, he is the self of another world. What's more, Magneto will definitely not harm himself in another world, and will even protect him as his own son. He agreed to come down, but also for his own good in another world, so that he would suffer less. Yes. Tony, are so kind. The me in the other world will definitely understand me. HMPH, I'm not looking at the member's face. I just want me in the other world to feel better. Tony said without blushing or panting. Yi Chen seems to see the system prompt. Tony Zhengxiang value plus 100 points. Tony Stark evolves to Tony Zhengxiang Stark. Very good deal. Magneto smiled happily and directly sent Tony a red envelope of 1000 member points. In fact, he was really afraid that Tony wouldn't agree. Everyone is an internet cafe. If Tony didn't agree, things would become very troublesome in the future. I can finally get out of trouble point. After getting this 1000 member points, Tony quit the online game mode, but bought goods in the time and space store. Now he is sure to get out of trouble, and he doesn't need to strike everyday point. He decided to torture those militants into dogs tomorrow. After Tony went offline, Zha complained, "I seem to have witnessed a dirty with deal. Sister Zha, you should save some face for Tony." Liu Hua said, "It's okay, he's offline. Didn't I hit him when I didn't watch him online?" Zha is still sensible. Tony wants face so much. If he mocked him just now, he might reject Magneto. Then Tony will have to suffer for a while, and Magneto will be unhappy. I didn't expect Zha senpai to have such a gentle and considerate side. At this time, the sage Hushan said. Hearing this, the people who were overtaken by the poetry sellers in the net 3.7 cafe was slightly surprised. She is a knife-mouthed tofu-hearted. Did you find out? Yi Chen chuckled. What? You seem to know me very well. It's very late. I went offline and went to bed. Zha blushed and exited the online game mode directly. Why is Zha so cute today? Yi Chen was stunned, and Zha was actually told by him to run away, which was a bit surprising. Damn it, sages can't be humiliated. But at this moment, Luo finally couldn't help but be angry. With a gleam and determination in her eyes, she slapped her own Xianling with the palm. What are you doing? Yi Chen waved his hand to plan Luo Yang's suicide and said, "You are crazy. You are just learning from each other. Can't you afford to lose? I would rather die than accept your insult here." Luo Heo said decisively. Yi Chen rolled his eyes immediately. When did he say he was waiting for her? So many people here are watching point. But thinking about it, Luo Heo's self-esteem is indeed strong, and the behavior just now was a huge humiliation for her. After thinking about it, Yi Chen said, "You lost. Do you admit it?" "Of course." Luo said, "Okay, now I'll announce what I'm doing with you." Yi Chen said, "If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelos. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 82 Be My Sister, Bear My Name. Go ahead." Luo Liang closed his eyes. Xianlin was flat, as if he had accepted his fate. At this moment, the big guys in the internet cafe and the girls like Liu Hua and Aqua were curious that Yi Chen would treat Luo Liang like this. Certainly not to kill her, but will it make any excessive and special demands? Everyone looked at the excitement and looked forward to it. Okay, you heard it clearly. After saying that, Yi Chen paused and said with a solemn expression, "Be my sister, bear the title of my master, and be hired in the infinite sea of dimensions." As soon as these words came out, Luo Heo and everyone in the internet cafe were all confused. What kind of disposal was this? Dominator's girl, especially Whitebird. He silently touched his head, and always felt that this line was inexplicably familiar at this moment. Luo reacted and asked incredulously, 20 you mean, you want to be my righteous brother? Yi Chen's handling was really beyond her expectations. She had already planned to die, but now it has turned a corner, which made her feel more guilty and fond of Yi Chen belly. Brother? It's too raw. Cry. Brother. Bounty source. Listen. Remember that you are willing to admit defeat. You can't rely on it. Yi Chen said with a chuckle. Who would blame me? Luo Heo has never broken my promise in my life. Luo Heo hurriedly defended. She will not break her Taoism and promises, and she is not disgusted with Yi Chen being her brother, and even has some good feelings for Yi Chen. Because Yi Chen is stronger and more powerful than her, you should still call me brother. Yi Chen thought for a while. Okay, good brother. Luo Heo murmured point, and at this moment Luo Liang didn't know her expression. She was so cute. It is no wonder that Luo Heo is the cutest girl in the Godslayer world, and she has completely destroyed those female protagonists. Chen. Then I will also call you good brother at this time. Aqua moved to Yi Chen's side and stared at Luo Yang with hostility. She saw that Yi Chen and Luo suddenly became so close, and she always felt that her beloved toy was about to be snatched away. God. Oh, the gods are very powerful, but they don't have the magnanimity of the strong. So it's nothing to worry about. Luo Heo ignored Aqua's provocation. How could such a weak goddess rob her brother, Akuya? In fact, my sister needs only one. After all, I'm not the old man of Whitebird. Yi Chen touched Aqua's head and explained. Aqua didn't quite understand what Yi Chen meant, but it was very comfortable for Chen to touch her head, so she didn't think about it too much. It's just that Whitebird has a feeling that people are sitting in an internet cafe and the pot is coming from the sky. Does the leader of the group recognize his sister or not? What does it have to do with him? He is just a little more son, several thousands. Just however, although he complained a bit in his heart, Whitebird was very optimistic about the way the leader of the group handled it, so everyone was happy. Emphasize both grace and power, defeat them with strength, and convince people with virtue. Ding dong. Suddenly, the doorbell outside the internet cafe rang. It was late at night, because Yi Chen's internet cafe was always closed, and it must be and the others who rang the doorbell at this time. Well, here are two senior warlocks. Luo Heo immediately sensed the cultivation of Xia and Tangyan, and she was considered an outstanding disciple in her holy religion. If they approached here at night, they were enemies. Do you want to kill them for her brother? Don't show murderous intentions at every turn. They are considered their own. Yi Chen held Luo Qi's softness and smiled comfortingly. My own person? Luo Heo was slightly startled. How could his brother have such a weak subordinate? They deliver food, Yi Chen said. Selling outside. Luo Heo's jade face suddenly turned cold. Where is the vixen who dared to seduce my older brother and kill him? Takeaway is responsible for selling food. You can run errands. Yi Chen explained. I thought that I had to give Luo Heo some common sense tonight. This girl is too homey and out of touch with the world. And his temperament is too indifferent, and he is not ready to kill. Although there is no harm in killing people decisively, killing innocent people indiscriminately is not good. But I can't blame Luo Qi. The status of God 007 is too detached, the privilege is too great, and almost all regard human life as a mustard. Otherwise how can he be called a devil? And Luo killed very few people in the prison gods, because it was too house. At the same time, Luo Heo was also a woman who was unparalleled in the country, and no godslayer dared to set foot in the east without her consent. The Marquis of that year was an example. And Yi Chen recognized Luo Liang as a girl, because she knew her character, but she really needed some teaching. After thinking about it, Yi Chen said, in my world, I can't kill anyone without my permission. Okay. Luo Liang nodded. The eldest brother was like a father. An ancient sister like her naturally would not disobey Yi Chen's orders. Come on, let's have a big meal tonight and celebrate. Yi Chen sensed the color and found that Xia and the others had really set up a set of Manchu and Han banquets downstairs in the internet cafe, thinking that they could finally have a full meal tonight. It's just that when Yi Chen went downstairs to pick up the goods, he didn't expect that the girl who delivered him food would be her. Chapter 83. The Queen is shocked. Gots is her. Standing in front of Yi Chen was a graceful, peerless woman, which made him feel kind and familiar. Empress. The woman in front of her was the Empress. Although she was not covered with a veil this time, Yi Chen would not admit her temperament and figure. Not to mention that Xia, Tangyan and a girl in a white military uniform were silently behind her, which further confirmed her identity. Don't you recognize me, boy? Seeing that Yi Chen didn't speak, the Empress smiled softly and said, oh, have we met? Yi Chen didn't seem to have seen the Empress in his memory, but he was a little familiar, so he had some guesses about her identity. Of course. Seeing that Yi Chen really didn't remember herself, the Empress teased with a trace of memory in her eyes, forehead. Yi Chen's eyes were a little stunned. How could he not know this? And according to the Empress, his guess was wrong. Brother, Who is she? At this time, Luoheo couldn't help holding Yi Chen's hand and looked at the Empress coldly. The relationship between this female emperor and her brother is somewhat unclear, and her beauty is not inferior to her, and her strength is also very strong. She is. Yi Chen wanted to say that he wasn't sure either. Brother? You don't have a sister. Don't tell me. The Empress glanced at Yi Chen vaguely, and at the same time, looked at Luo Tao's figure. Her heart suddenly became more inspiring. This woman's strength is unfathomable. Her beauty is not inferior to mine, and her aura is even better. The appearance of Luoki shocked the Empress. There is absolutely no such person in the world. The Empress and Empress in the Western world have a good relationship with her, but their strength is inferior to her. No wonder. At this time, the Empress suddenly communicated something, looked at Yi Chen with a smile on her face, but did not speak. No wonder what? Yi Chen always felt that the Empress' eyes were gloating. You recently closed the internet cafe and didn't let Xia and the others approach. It's because of her. She learned how to hide the beauty in a golden house at a young age. It's amazing. The Empress said with a smile. What kind of treasure is hidden in a golden house? We don't have it. Before Yi Chen could speak, Luoheo denied it. What a joke. At this time, Yi Chen also defended himself. After a pause, Yi Chen returned to the point of preaching. Who are you? You can always tell me. At this time, the Empress did not tease Yi Chen anymore, and said lightly, my surname is Yi. You are my mysterious aunt. And you left this internet cafe for me? Yi Chen asked instantly. Well, it seems that you have already guessed in your heart. You seem to know that I will come back. Is it the superdimensional spiritual religion that told you, or the master behind the scenes to kill Wan Wang? It seems that she can do it too. While speaking, the Empress looked at Luoheo, feeling a little apprehensive. Luoheo's threat to her is very big, even bigger than the ice-cold Skasa that appeared before. Hyperdimensional religion. Yi Chen didn't deny it, said. There are 3 reasons. 1 is Yi Chen's current strength, at least a top 6th order awakener, invincible in this world. 2nd, Yi Chen originally wanted to walk in this world as a superdimensional religion. When you come out, you have to be the biggest and worst person. Yi Chen didn't plan to pretend to be a grandson. Before, he hid behind the scenes, just to see how deep the water in this world was. When it was time to stand up, he would still stand up. Of course, Yi Chen will not admit that he is the god of destruction. 3 Kakarot. That would destroy Kakarot's mysterious image in the hearts of the world, and the more mysterious it is, the more dreadful it is. The unknown is always the scariest. 3. The Empress in front of him is his aunt. He doesn't want to deceive her, and he also wants to get the information he wants from her. Hey, it's really that god sect. Hearing Yi Chen's admission, the Empress was still surprised, since she was prepared. She didn't expect that her nephew was really related to the superdimensional religion, and it seemed that her status was not low. Then this girl is also a super sect? The queen looked at Luo Liang and asked Yi Chen. Second order. Yi Chen said casually. Luoheo nodded silently. What her brother said was what she said, and as a younger sister, she was so well behaved. What about you? The queen asked again. The number 1 religion, the god of destruction. Yi Chen said lightly. Got it. Then do you have anything to ask? The Empress was very relieved. Yi Chen didn't lie to her, but she knew that her nephew was actually very smart, so there must be something wrong. I want to know the hidden forces in this world. As far as I know, you are not one of the 4 kings. Yi Chen said lightly. Didn't the superdimensional sect tell you? The Empress asked 10th hesitantly. This is my experience. For those big bosses, is it necessary to deliberately understand the few ants and the larger giant ants? Yi Chen asked for a reason. Instead, your teaching seems to be done. If you don't agree with it, life and death are taken lightly. If you have the seed, you will come and cough. You really don't care about the weak. The Empress made up a reasonable explanation in her own mind, then paused. She waved her hand to open the barrier, to isolate the surrounding area, and said, actually, after the Tianyuan Mutation 18 years ago, you think that human beings can develop to the present in just 10 years. At this point, the awakened can cultivate to the current state. You mean Yi Chen has also thought about this issue. 18 years is indeed unbelievable. It's because of the gods. The Empress said solemnly. PS. This is the 8th update last night. The code word reached 5 o'clock. I was too sleepy to fall asleep. There are 8 more changes today. This time the author will try to speed up the speed. Chapter 84 Luoheo. This is definitely an aunt. Gods? Do you mean sea god cult and Vulcan cult? Yi Chen heard the word gods for the first time and asked immediately. It's not entirely true. The gods they believe in are one of the fallen gods. Those gods came from the Otherworld and fell during the period of Tianyuan Mutation, and they support human beings in order to develop believers and try to resurrect them with the power of believers. The queen said, Aunt, how do you know so clearly? Yi Chen asked hesitantly. That's my aunt's secret hidden deep in my heart. Can you enter my aunt's body and mind? The Empress touched Yi Chen's side face and said gently. Yi Chen was startled. Aunt, can you stop making fun of me? How can I say that I'm also your nephew? Auntie, please respect yourself. At this moment, Luoheo snorted slightly. If it wasn't for the Empress being an elder, she would have directly patted it with the palm of the Phoenix god. Looking at the little sister, and you have a good relationship. The Empress retracted her hand and smiled. Yi Chen shook his head when he heard the words and slandered in his heart. She is not a little sister. Auntie, your age is not even a fraction of Luomeng's. Brother, you seem to be thinking about something bad. Luoheo said in a cold tone. Her intuition was super accurate. Haha, auntie, you continue to talk about the gods. Yi Chen returned to the topic. Luoheo Geo rolled her eyes at Yi Chen angrily. Change the subject. The elder brother obviously changed the subject. Aunt got the latest news tonight. The gods will eventually return, and the second Tianyuan mutation will begin. It was originally a year later in the language, but now it may be earlier. But your superdimensional gods are so strong. Even if the gods return, my aunt doesn't need to worry too much about you. In the information obtained by the Empress, the power of the gods is not as heaven-defying as in the mythology. The superdimensional divine religion is only as strong as a great protector. Yi Chen is safe and does not need to worry too much. Is the second Tianyuan mutation earlier? Yi Chen secretly said in his heart. Is it because the planet has awakened the inhibitory embryo? Auntie, that's all I can tell you. Remember to thank the superdimensional spiritual religion for my aunt. If it weren't for them, my aunt wouldn't know how to solve your cultivation problems. The queen said solemnly. I will. By the way, aunt, will the return of the gods have any effect on you? Yi Chen asked with concern. As soon as this question came out, the Empress had not responded. Cat and Xia behind her couldn't help but rolled her eyes. The safety of the Empress? Even you, the future Holy Emperor of Nothingness, can't imagine her identity after awakening. But I didn't expect that the Empress was the aunt of the Holy Emperor of Nothingness. Since the two have such a relationship, there is no record in history. Xia pondered and was terrified, and suddenly realized that she knew a great secret. If she learns about this kind of secret in the future, she feels that she may be cold. At this time, the Empress was very happy because Yi Chen cared about her. She said with a smile, you can rest assured that on this planet, my aunt and my safety are absolutely guaranteed, and before the gods return, no one is my opponent. Aunt, is it better than Dao and Zero? Ma. Yi Chen asked. After becoming a god slayer, his intuition and knowledge can almost predict the future. He felt that this Empress and aunt was not as simple as what he saw. The big and small horses are just upstarts. Because they are rich and famous, they have acquired many rare and precious treasures, and they are lucky enough to get the inheritance of a certain god, and then they enter the 5th rank. This is very clear to the horse, but not to the pony. Actually, the Divine Awakeners Guild and the Western Sacred Church both hide many powerful people, but they have not broken through the limit of tier 5. Before the return of the gods, human beings cannot break through this limit, and the gods are not all at once. All can return, and there is a long buffering process. The Empress explained in detail. Sure enough, it's the same as what I thought. Yi Chen estimated that Luo Yang was probably at the 5th order extreme level before becoming a god slayer, half-step 6th order, and his aunt was also at the same level. The god of disobedience and the god killer are all level 6. Inhibition power. planetary will, true god, true demon king, the kind that can destroy the world. The bottom line is guaranteed. It's good that you know. If there is no problem, Aunt will not bother you if she has something to do. This takeaway is specially prepared by Aunt for you. Before leaving, the Empress did not forget to tease Yi Chen. You should know the thoughts of that girl, Ling Meng. Don't let others down, or Auntie won't be able to help you. Point before her figure dissipated. The Empress also deliberately mentioned Yi Chen's young taming, making Yi Chen speechless for a while. The elder brother's aunt is indeed a relative. Luoheo said inexplicably, "Eh?" Yi Chen turned his head and asked, "Point, it's nothing, Mr. Brother." Luoheo smiled slightly, very alluring. His heart was really simple, and it seemed that he didn't need to worry about anything, and immediately felt good about it. Point, however, Yi Chen is not simple, but now his mind is on the superdimensional internet cafe, and he doesn't think much about it at all. Let's go with the fate. Let's go back and have dinner. Yi Chen smiled, returned to the internet cafe with takeaways, and had a drink and dinner with Luo and Aqua. As for the other internet cafe members, except for Alice's soul projection who participated in the dinner, the others were either resting or busy, or playing games, and none of them acted as light bulbs. Of course, there are also people practicing. For example, Aizen, Archer Hamadara, Magneto, Whitebird, Merlin, Laozi, Kurama. Point, don't think that their strength has not improved after entering the superdimensional internet cafe. In fact, they are hiding very deep. Yi Chen can find out through the space-time shop. They all bought talent copy cards. These people are silently behind their backs, familiar with the talents of other bigwigs in the world of the gods. Due to the limitation of mystery in the presence of Yi Chen, they didn't need to work hard. These big guys just didn't show their real strength. Point, if fighting on a level playing field, they won't perform any worse than the gods. When you wake up tomorrow, you have to strengthen it so that they don't overtake it. On the couch, Yi Chen hugged from side to side, and it was a little hard to fall asleep, but thinking about the many things that happened tonight, he felt that his own strength was the most important thing. Only with absolute power can we do whatever we want. Beer and recruit all worlds. Chapter 85, Strengthen the Direction. 10,000 Activity. The next day, noon point, the sun was so hot that Aqua didn't wear her fat jade arms, and she hadn't woken up yet, hugging Yi Chen's neck tightly and falling asleep with a sweet smile on her face. Point, on the right side of Yi Chen, Luo lay quietly and peacefully, as beautiful as a sleeping fairy. Point, there is a strong contrast with Aqua on the left. Point, this scene would appear that it wasn't Yi Chen's drunkenness last night or something. He wouldn't get drunk at all. Point, this was entirely because Aqua was crying out to sleep with Yi Chen. Luo Liang was uneasy and worried about Aqua, so he lay on Yi Chen's right side and watched silently. Point, smelling the faint fragrance of Luo's virginity. Yi Chen actually didn't sleep well last night, so he thought about it all night. Now that I have more than 3,000 member points, I should choose to strengthen my abilities. Yi Chen estimated his strengthening plan in his heart. 3,000 member points are not much. Yi Chen wants to buy Resurrection and Aqua's Affinity of Water. I also want to buy a talent copy card. Copy, Manger Key Sharingan, Shock Fruit, Magneto's Magnetic Talent. Point, these kinds of abilities are not weak. It mainly depends on how you develop, and any one of them can be supernatural. See which one suits Yi Chen best. Point, you can copy all of them, but Yi Chen's members don't read much, and it takes a long time to develop one by one. Yi Chen believes that Aizen and the others only copied 1 or 2 talents from their teammates. Refined. Actually, Yi Chen has a way to directly strengthen his power several times. That is an equipment amplification scroll obtained from the completion of the quest after killing Frozen Scatter. This booster scroll is very precious and can directly raise the level of an artifact, Frostmourne, or Zanpakuto Kaikasujetsu. If you strengthen Kaikasujetsu by 1 level, Yi Chen's soul power will directly surpass Aizen. Therefore, Yi Chen has been using it as a whole card, and he didn't decide whether to increase Frostmourne or increase Kaikasujetsu. Point, finally, there is another way. Summon the god of disobedience, and then swallow it to get a new Godhead crystal, but Yi Chen doesn't have this idea at the moment, because at present, Yi has the divine power of 2 disobedient gods, and the divine power of the military god has not been completely digested. Even with the divine power of the god King Mekl, Yi Chen has temporarily sealed it, and will double his combat power when needed. As for taking Tianyuan pills, Yi Chen took 3 pills last night. Although increasing the power by 30% can be used when the basic attributes are higher. The 9 bulls and 2 tiger pills are not divine pills after all, and it is already the limit to increase the power of the 6th order awakener by 30%. At level 7, this medicine pill is no different from beans as for the strengthening of Conqueror's Haki, Chakra, and Ryatsu. After devouring the crystals of the war god, Yi Chen's basic physique was terrifyingly improved, surpassing the shackles of mortals, causing his Conqueror's Haki, Chakra, and soul power to reach that of Whitebird, Kurama, and Aizen level, or even stronger. As for the divine power, it did not reach the level of Aqua, which surprised Yi Chen. It seems that Aqua may be a true god in the heavens, or it is a top 6th order god. Although her divine power is seriously inconsistent with her combat power, she is like a baby with a nuclear bomb, which makes people laugh and laugh. It is better to count on Aqua to fight. Suddenly I found that there seems to be nothing to strengthen. Do you really need to use the equipment booster? Yi Chen murmured. Brother is thinking about power. Luo Liang opened her eyes and said she felt Yi Chen's entanglement. Oh, that's right. Because I became a god, my strength is beyond my imagination in all aspects. Yi Chen said. Brother directly devoured the crystallization of the divine power of the war gods and god kings. The divine power is several times that of mine. There are more than 10 or 20 powers, and you can use them as you want, but because of the high degree of freedom, I don't know how to use them. In what direction to improve? Luo Yang said lightly. The power of power is at full level from the beginning, and does not need to be cultivated, but how to use power, and how to develop it is very important, and Russell is the most slippery in this regard. Then what do you think? Yi Chen asked. Luo Heo was the expert in this regard. Actually, there is a misunderstanding in my brother's thinking. Luo said. Oh. Yi Chen raised his brows. Well, the best way to improve power is to improve divine power. The stronger the divine power, the stronger the power. In the choice of power, you should focus on strengthening one or several powers, such as the divine sword, or the god of thunder and the sun god, the power of the underworld. Luoz suggested. Your proposal is great. Yi Chen was slightly stunned, and the more he felt that the younger sister was getting better and better. She was indeed very talented and very capable. Hee. I'm satisfied if I can help my elder brother. A small sweet smile appeared on Luo Heo's face. Yi Chen didn't expect her to show such a smile. Unexpectedly, she is the type of a good wife and good mother. However, Luo Heo was born in an era that paid attention to 3 obediences and 4 virtues. Originally, she was a showpiece for everyone, but she was only attracted by her family's sect, Fi Fengman. Then she began her terrifying life. You can learn what you want, and you can learn from one thing. 18 martial arts, all grandmasters, in just half a year. No one can match in Fi Fengman. Soon after, he became the leader of the Martial Arts Alliance. After reaching the pinnacle of life, knowing the existence of the god of disobedience, he wanted to challenge the god of disobedience. Although there is a relationship between the right time and the right place and her own strong luck, she is indeed a positive, and will kill the god of disobedience. Of course, she was seriously injured during the battle with the godless god, but the process was many times easier than other godless gods, and she herself felt surprisingly relaxed. It's an open life. However, although Luo Heo's life is open, Yi Chen is more terrifying than her. A week ago, Yi Chen was an ordinary person, but now he has surpassed her at this time. Yi Chen thought about it and said, Sister, you also want to become stronger. Do you have a direction? I've already finished reading all the items in the space-time store, except for the equipment copy card, 9 bulls and 2 tiger pills, and the negative status elimination card. The rest are useless. Luo Yang said lightly. Zero ask for flowers don't kid. Ninjutsu, haki learn. Didn't ninjutsu first originate from our China's Onmaya Jutsu? Archer Hamadara is a bit stingy. The secret ninjutsu has not been sold, and all of the public ninjutsu I have an advanced version of Onmyaji, and Shinigami Kid has merit. It's just that I don't want to learn it for the time being. After I learn it, I have nothing to do. Life is too boring. Luo Yang said lightly. Yi Chen, no wonder you like to admire yourself on Mount Lu. So much point in such a life without pursuit. There is nothing to do except appreciate yourself. She is not narcissistic, and it is estimated that she will become the Emperor Shishin in the martial arts of the wind and clouds, and she will go crazy. Brother, stop laughing at me. Luo Heo also reflected on the night last night. She was really overly narcissistic in the first half of her life. Fortunately, she met Chang and started a new life point at this time. Akia said, whisper, hey. So boring. 0.0 After the dinner at 5 o'clock in the morning last night, Aqua fell asleep, but she could still hear the conversation between Yi Chen and Luo in her dream. Yi Chen's with light and dust has not cultivated to the realm of heaven and man, and now it is only at a higher innate level, and is about to become a master, but the cultivation experience is complete, so I can chat with Luo Heo. You little lazy pig finally woke up. Yi Chen said with a long smile, I'm not a lazy pig. Aqua muttered. Yi Chen smiled and shook his head. Just as he was about to say something, there was a knock on the door of the bedroom. The leader of the team, I disturbed you early in the morning. Outside the internet cafe's bedroom, Yan Lingji's soul projection said, oh, Miss Yan Lingji, why are you here? Yi Chen asked curiously. Yan Lingji has always been very low-key in internet cafes. I want to see my memory video. Yan Lingji said, what happened? Yi Chen asked. Yesterday, Ji Wuai, the Knight Leader of Han Kingdom, sent someone to contact me, saying that he knew that my brother was not dead, that he knew his whereabouts, and asked me to obey his orders. I think there is something wrong. Yan Lingji Yingmui said, how could Ji Wuai know your secret? There is indeed a problem. Yi Chen is familiar with the plot of Xiangxing Juge, and Ji Wuai is a reckless man with ambition and understanding of power struggles. A good Admiral Army. Jing learned some intrigue. The key is that his IQ is not very good. He is played around by Han Fei, and even his ally, the blood-robed Hao Beifei, is secretly plotting against him. How could such an idiot know about Yan Lingji's privacy? But just when Yi Chen wanted to deal with this matter, a prompt sound came from the system. Ding. The current activity level is 10,000 points, and the internet cafe is about to be upgraded for the second time. Ding. Internet cafe membership limit plus 10. The activity level is 10,000? So fast. Yi Chen said, slightly surprised. Chapter 86. Such a Hamadara. Come on. This kind of garbage can also be the protagonist. Ding. Internet cafes are about to be upgraded. During the upgrade, the online game mode will be closed. Please also ask internet cafe members to go offline in advance to avoid unnecessary losses. The system prompt sounded in the minds of all members, and the internet cafe discussion group, the Evil King's Eyes. Wow, the internet cafe is going to break through, and there were only 5,000 active visitors last night. Golden Retriever, 5,000 activity in one night. Is it possible? Strongest man on earth. What is activity? King is a newcomer, which means he doesn't understand anything. It's not my fault for the poisonous tongue. You just need to know that activity is the key to leveling up anyway. Aizen, upgrading is not a bad thing in any way. Golden Retriever, is the internet cafe going to break through again? Can't log into the online game. The fatigue of the dungeon has not been cleared today. Sage HUI, I just had lunch, and I didn't expect to receive such important news. Yan Lingji, it seems that I will definitely not be a newbie in the future. The strongest man on earth. After I appeared, you are not new. It's not my fault for the poisonous tongue. Actually, 0 and 10 is also good. Anyway, every upgrade is a good thing, and there should be new benefits, right? The president, Xia Shizi asked expectantly. She can gain skills by playing dungeons, but she has no magic power. It would be great if she could gain magic power after leveling up. Yi Chen, don't worry, I don't think you will be disappointed. Although Yi Chen doesn't know the content of the update, he has an intuition that this time the internet cafe upgrade can solve the problem of the upgrade plan. There are currently two kinds of goods in the space-time store that are empty: the mysterious side of the divine goods, and the scientific high-tech. It's not my fault for the poisonous tongue. I feel relieved when the leader of the group said this. True eyes of the Evil King. In other words, why is there 5,000 activity levels in one night? Can anyone figure it out? Yanlingji, if you know, the upgrade should be much faster in the future. Yanlingji also hopes that the internet cafes will be upgraded more and have more benefits, then she can be stronger. Goddess of wisdom, the wisdom of my concubine tells me that it may be related to the Dream Demon Squad. There were a lot of big things that happened last night, but they were all private affairs of Yi Chen and Luo, and the arrival of her and the king did not increase the activity. So there is only one truth. Yi Chen. Well, I checked, and after submitting the bounty quest last night, there was a direct increase of 4,500 activity. Evil King True Eye. Wow, this is to tidy up the Dream Demon space to death. It's not my fault for the poisonous tongue. This is a big hatred. A task with such a low difficulty. 4,500 active. Golden Retriever. Aizen said they were prey, but now I think they are enemies, to be honest. Yi Chen was also very shocked. The difficulty of the bounty task was not high, and it was easier to deal with than the Travises, but the quest reward was richer than that, and the activity increased. Isn't it that Yi Chen and the others can't let the Dream Demon team go no matter what? It seems that the Dream Demon Squad is really an inexorable enemy of the elder brother. In the internet cafe, Luo goes and Circuit Point, as long as it is the enemy of the elder brother, kill them all. She decided to go back and mobilize China, so the practitioners, the branches are all over the world. As long as they find someone related to the Dream Demon Squad, they will kill without mercy. The enemy is not really, but there is no doubt that he is the one who will kill. Yi Chen nodded. Aqua, HMPH, Achin. Next time you have to bring me, a flood will clean them up. Cough, cough. Let's discuss this next time. Yi Chen didn't agree to Aqua. He was afraid that when the flood flooded the Dragon King temple, the enemy didn't drown, and his own people were washed away by Aqua. Aqua is still best suited to be a supporter in an internet cafe, and occasionally she can be taken to pretend, and fights should be avoided. Yanlingji, that, Mr. Group Leader, can you upload my memory video first? At this time, Yanlingji called Yi Chen in the discussion group. She was still very concerned about her brother's affairs. Yi Chen, okay, everyone has enough money recently, so I'll upload One Piece, Shinigami, Hokage Ninja and 9 songs. Yi Chen didn't give all the memory videos before, and Uchiha Madara didn't even watch Hokage's memory videos. To be honest, he is a dead person now, and it's useless to watch the previous plot. The girls in the 4 animes have all been processed, and will not disappear. Even the plots of showing affection, feeding dog food, and selling CP were deleted by Yi Chen, which caused the members of the internet cafe to not know who was a couple after watching the anime. Of course, it has little impact, and everyone is not interested in it anyway. Of course, Yi Chen did this mainly for the sake of the anime girls who came to the internet cafe in the future, so as not to be embarrassed by memorizing videos. However, Yi Chen didn't expect that doing so in the future would cause himself a little bit of trouble. At this time, the strongest dad said, "Killer la, is the leader finally going to release all the memories?" Whitebird just woke up and saw the good news. He wanted to watch all of One Piece for a long time, but Yi Chen likes to keep his hands on things. Except for Summit War, he knows very little about the plot. Aizen, the leader didn't give me the whole story. I wanted to buy it from the leader in private. Aizen was also about to make his next plan. Yi Chen didn't take action. He was ready to bleed, but now he also planned to give Yi Chen a big red envelope. Uchiha Madara, HMPH, my world is called Hokage Ninja, haha, and as expected, Hashirama and I are the protagonists of our world. Kurama, Uchiha Madara, if you think so, I advise you not to watch it. In our world, you will never be the protagonist. Uchiha Madara, why should I listen to you? Don't think that you are human. If you can speak human words, I'm not the protagonist, are you the protagonist? Uchiha Madara hummed disdainfully. Although he did not despise the tailed beasts as much as before, He did not treat them equally. Zero Kurama. Uchiha Madara, don't underestimate me. You will regret it. Kurama is not without growth. He also bought the talent copy card, and now his eyes are crimson 3 hook jade point, and it bought more than one talent card, but a full 5. Uchiha Madara, do you think you can deal with me by copying some talents? Naive. As a big boss, Uchiha Madara doesn't know Kurama's mind, but the more talent, the better. The key is how well you exercise your talent. Aizen, stop arguing. I have no interest in being the protagonist of Minecraft. Aizen knows that Kurosaki Ichigo is the protagonist, but so what? Kurosaki Ichigo is just his pawn and detection object from start to finish. Point in the end, Kurosaki Ichigo defeated him in the team leader's memory video, but now Aizen doesn't think Kurosaki Ichigo has a chance. Point of course, if Kurosaki Ichigo can really surpass him, he'd love to see it. Point after all, in his world, he is too lonely. Point invincible is really lonely, lonely as snow, the strongest. Dad, killer lala, everyone knows the protagonist of my world, and he is quite close to the people. The more Whitebird looked at Luffy, the more pleasing to the eye. He felt that Luffy was too much like Roger, and he had qualities that Roger did not have. Benevolent. Roger is a bit extreme and brutal, but Luffy is different. Luffy can knock down enemies, but not kill them. Uchiha Madara, that's because you're not the protagonists, so it doesn't matter. Uchiha Madara always thought that he or Senju Hashirama was the protagonist of their world, the son of luck often mentioned in internet cafes, until he watched the first episode of Hokage Ninja. Uchiha Madara, damn, what rubbish. Uzumaki Naruto? Ninetales Jinchuriki, this kind of rubbish can also be the protagonist. Don't watch it. Uchiha Madara was so angry that he went offline. Uzumaki Naruto, the blood of the Vortex clan, can't compare to his noble Uchiha clan. You said that he would endure Uchiha Sasuke as the protagonist. Points. Well, Naruto, what a spicy chicken. The poisonous tongue is not my fault. This uncle still has a temper. Yanlingji, who said no. Yanlingji smiled. Speaking freely in the internet cafe did make her feel the unprecedented ease, and there was a touch of warmth that only family can have, but it was also, when she thought of family, she clicked on the memory of 9 songs in the sky. Video point. And just as Yanlingji clicked on the video, the internet cafe sounded a prompt sound again. Point. Ding. Detected and natural superdimensional events are detected, and superdimensional tasks are released. Ding. Detected to the Dream Demon Squad. Release the superdimensional bounty task. Chapter 87. Laozi. No one is competing with me this time. Thorenal. Superdimensional mission. Bounty mission. Come together. The strongest dad. Kula. It seems that this time it was a double shot. Aizen, let's take a look at the mission information first. 2 missions in a row. This is the first time. Magneto. Yes, look at the limit on the number of people on this mission. Point. The strongest man on earth. No matter what task, I will not rob you. King is very Buddha nature, very calm. Point. It's not my fault for the poisonous tongue. Hush hush. This strongest man is unexpectedly modest. The strongest dad. Kula. Child, are you saying that I'm not humble? Whitebird can't help laughing and laughing. He and King are the only ones in internet cafes who have the title of the strongest man. Point. It's not my fault for the poisonous tongue. Old. I didn't mean that. Expression tongue out. Golden retriever. Dad, you've known Shizzy for so long. Don't you know that her poisonous tongue is already instinctive? Point. Eyeing Lily snickered secretly. Shizzy's words are really poisonous, and her instinct has already formed. Point. The strongest dad. Kula. That's all. Dad is used to it. Point. Shizzy was slightly speechless. Even Whitebird thought so. It's really not her fault for the poisonous tongue. Point. Evil King. True. Actually, even if I want to snatch it, I can't do anything right now. I don't know when my evil King True will be released. At this time, in order to show her sense of existence, Liuha silently played her role, the successor of the evil King's True Eye's wisdom water god. It's okay to taste the 6 flowers, I will cover you. Liuha was slightly speechless, and she didn't know whether it was lucky or unfortunate to be covered by Aqua. Point. At this time, the system prompts, the unparalleled peerless beauty of the country in the country, was renamed Eluopang. Eluoheo. I participated in this mission. There is an Avalon Indalion Wow, another big brother is participating. It seems that in the future, there will be more monks and less flesh, and the task will not be so easy to do. Merlin's expression was slightly solemn. Before Luoheo bubbled up, he was still the first brother in the internet cafe. After Luoheo bubbled up, the leader of the group rose strongly. In the future, he wanted to compete for tasks, and there was some pressure. Laozi is not you Laozi. Indeed, as an internet cafe old man, I haven't performed a mission yet. The Magneto Whitebird, who is much younger than me, has performed missions. Laozi is a bit bitter. He spent the ticket to travel through the Battle of the Top, and there is no task point, and the mission Chen arranged for him was only a distraction mission, not the main force. He also wanted to play an admiral pretense in the Battle of the Top point, and the last time he was in the world of gods, it left him speechless, because he was Laozi, so he couldn't participate, and he was a dog. I'm Laozi, am I wrong? Evil King True Eye. The old man feels so bitter. Magneto, I think it's fair. It's useless to do the task of being strong, and it's useless to rely on the old to sell the old, not to mention that I came in at the same time as you, and I have the same seniority. If it's about age, respect the old, and love the young. You are old, I'm a child, and everyone is equal. Laozi is not you Laozi. This wave of explanations, I'm speechless. Chen, quiet, look at the actual content of this mission. You don't have to worry about the number limit this time. Mission 1, suppress Ji Wuai and capture his cheat. Reward 10,000 member points, randomly strengthened once. Number of people limit 3 people. Mission 2, a reward mission to suppress the Dream Demon Legion, including 100 bronze squads of Kinchimingayu Parallel Universe. 9 songs in the sky. Reward, bronze level Dream Demon squads. Head price 10,500 member points. The more you work, the more you get, and the person with the most heads will have additional rewards. Number of people limit, none. Evil King True Eye, hush hush hush. The second mission, the number of people is not limited. Liuhua is a little panicked now. There is no limit to the number of people, which means that she can also travel through. But there are so many bosses here, in case someone sees that she is a muggle, at most, she can only know a little chakra ninjutsu and DNF's magic star bullets. Her right eye patch is just a cost product. How can she act in front of the big guys, the strongest man on earth? What a surprise. King is very nervous. What reason should I find for refusing to participate in the mission? He has no extraordinary power. If he goes to his strength, he will be worn out. Will the people in the internet cafe look down on him? There is no limit to the number of tasks. Some people are really happy and some people are worried. And the favorite is Laozi. Laozi is not you Laozi. Hahaha. No one will rob me now. I finally got what I wanted and was able to receive mission reward. Chen, old man, please be more prudent and see what world the mission takes place in. Laozi is not you Laozi. When Laozi saw the mission world, he was speechless, because it was all happening in his world. Although he only watched a little video of Xiangxing Jiuji's memory, he remembered that Zunzi's disciple Han Fei went down the mountain and returned to China not long ago. Yan Lingji, what a shame. This mission is actually in someone else's world. At this time, Yan Lingji quickly took a look at Xiangxing Jiuji before paying attention to the internet cafe task, but she didn't expect it to be in her world. If it is a normal task, in her world, she makes a lot of money, and she may be rewarded by following the leader of the group. But there is no limit to the number of tasks, then it will be a big loss, a full loss of 1000 member points. Laozi is not you Laozi. It turns out that you and I are in the same world. It's really fate. Yan Lingji. I don't know who you are. Yan Lingji knew that there were many unfathomable great masters in her world, such as Bei Mingzi, Giguzi, Zunzi, Dan Huang Tai, and Chunangan. These old people are all supreme masters in martial arts, and she only needs one finger. Laozi is not you Laozi. Don't you know? Yan Lingji. How do I know? Laozi is not you Laozi. Everyone doesn't know. There is an Avalon in Dalian. I know a little bit. The Godslayer world didn't bring you and me last time, so I have some guesses, but it depends on what the leader of the group has to say. Chen, don't guess. It's him. He's Laozi. Yi Chen directly disclosed the answer, and at this moment, eyeing Lily, Xia Shizi, Liu Hua and even Liu Heo were all shocked by the true identity of the old man. It turns out that there is such a big man in myth hidden in the internet cafe. Chapter 88 Heaven and Man descend to earth, and meteors fall from the sky. Luo, are you Laozi, the founder of Taoism? Luo Heo was a little surprised. I didn't expect that there was a Laozi in the internet cafe. Her Fi Fengman is also one of the branches of Taoism, and Laozi is her grandfather in terms of seniority. Laozi is not you Laozi. Master Luo doesn't need to be polite. We are not from the same world. I'm ashamed to say, my world is too low. Luozi. It's a pity to be limited by the world. Luo Heo felt a little pity in her heart. If in her world, Laozi would definitely become a god, and her personality should be above the god of disobedience. There is an Avalon in Dalian. In my world, Laozi is a great person, the ceiling of the gods and demons. And some people even say that his power is close to inhibition. Merlin has never seen Laozi, but he knows that in his world Laozi is definitely the ceiling of the gods. The author of Fate Zero, Laozu, is a China blower, the strongest daddy, killer la. My world has no mythological history, but I didn't expect Laozi's identity to be so powerful. White but doesn't know any history of mythology, but Merlin said that Laozi is the ceiling of the gods and demons, so it is self-evident. Laozi is not you Laozi. Cough, cough. I don't know, I'm so good. I admire myself a bit. Expression embarrassed. Laozi didn't think he was very arrogant, but later generations blew him into a god, and he was a little helpless, and he didn't want to discuss this issue. Evil kings and iron. No, in Merlin's world, Laozi should be just a heroic spirit. Could it be because of the myth of him that he was upgraded to a god? The world of Yuha has similar works of fate, and the world of Passers-by Heroines also has works similar to Dating Battle, Sword Art Online, and God's Lair, but they don't think much about it. There is an Avalon in Dalian. No, it's not like that. You don't know. The heroic spirits of the Far East are very special and almost independent of the heroic spirit system. For example, the first emperor is a god, and I don't dare to mess with him. If you don't believe me, ask the team leader. Just no point. Evil King True Eye. Master Chief, is it true? Yi Chen, well, China's gods and heroic spirits are independent. They don't listen to the heroic spirit temple, and Merlin really doesn't dare to provoke the first emperor, otherwise he will lose the ship. Warning, the evil king's true eyes. What is a stalk of Wang Nijian? Yi Chen, the first emperor has a star destroyer, not one body, but one fleet. Evil king's true eyes, a fleet, which is full of starship annihilation. Think about the picture. No wonder Merlin dare not provoke the first emperor. This is a rhythm to conquer the universe. The first emperor is awesome, and all the big guys in the internet cafe were also silent, including Luo Liang. The first emperor actually had a star destroyer. And it was a group. They don't have the ability to destroy stars yet. Can't be offended. Can't be offended. Yan Lingji, is the first emperor so terrible? Then Prince Xian's, and I will revive the land of Baiyu, and we can just wait for death. Yan Lingji went online in the internet cafe, checked some history books, and knew that Qin Shi Huang unified the 6 kingdoms, settled the Xiongnu in the north, and Baiyu in the south, originally. She was still holding a bit of luck, but after hearing what the team leader and Merlin said, she should return to the mountains and forests, otherwise the first emperor would definitely call them Baiyu Dad. Yi Chen, don't panic. The first emperor of your world is not that powerful. Of course, it is impossible for you Baiyu to defeat Qin. You don't have to work hard for a broken prince who doesn't care about you. Yan Lingji, I will consider it carefully. Yan Lingji is very affectionate. Xianze has a kindness to her. She does not want to betray Xianze. Of course Xianze voluntarily gave up her, and it is another matter. In fact, after watching the Xiangxing Geoge memory video, she already knew that Xianze would not rescue her in the future. Yi Chen, well, this task is tonight. Tonight, I will return to you with Luozi and Aqua in Hansen's Heng. Yan Lingji, I understand, the leader. Yi Chen, everyone, prepare well and act tonight. After Yi Chen finished speaking, he didn't speak in the discussion group, but privately chatted with Enel. For tonight's task, He needed Thunderfruit Point and Enel handed over Thunderfruit very readily because Whitebud gave him 1000 membership points and he copied Thunderfruit's talent without losing the fruit point and time will pass quickly. 9-day trip in the world. The sun goes down. Han country. Outside the city of Zinsheng, a dark jungle. Yanlingji convened her 3 companions. One was nearly 3 meters tall, brawny invulnerability unparalleled ghost unparalleled quiet, there may be dumb point. The second is the old man on crutches holding 100 Du Wang, very dark face with evil point. Third, it is the Beiyu hidden witch's first drive Shimo, dressed in robes, very quiet, although the mysterious dark, evil with nothing but his face, still handsome, Yanlingji. Now some of you may not even the owner's command. Let us in this round. Do 1 to 100 Ling Yanji asks, his face still hurt. Coke. Yanlingji was forced to take him. Come here, section the night before, while in the Emerald Tiger, want to send someone to catch me. I want to dedicate G night. Yanlingji coldly point heard. Unparalleled ghost suddenly looked Yanlingji, some worried about her. Yanlingji, I'm fine, because I raise a lot of strength, the assassin who killed all night, that's what you want to say. 100 Du Wang Road point we back quote whereabouts has been under the control of the night. Yanlingji lightly, what do you mean we want the night hands? He asked. Shimo drive. No, it should be the night we wanted to use. Yanlingji day trip. After reading the 9 knew she would be caught, locked up in the water dungeon, was almost captured the hearts of the medication, but fortunately unparalleled ghost saved her, while others were G night use. We know Chak Prince turnaround point. Unfortunately, she was caught behind, just because it seems like she nor white. Not how like her. Chak Prince did not rescue her, her heart was disappointed. Perhaps in the eyes of Prince Chak she is just a pawn point, but Chak helping his career for her, so she was going to kill G after no night. The Tin Chak rescue, after he left the team, that's how you want us to do. Back quote drive Shimo go on, what you need to do, I'll be rescue Chak Prince, but after no longer be with you, and you recently best to hide, then there will be a war god. Lin Yanji Road, Fairy War, 100 Du Wang. Flooding Shimo, both face to face, and heard ghost unparalleled view. It is difficult to believe that another flaming G words. Yanlingji is mad. This world can there be gods, but today, as they so wish of the time point the sky, countless meteor fall, this time in the ancient ominous signs so the vision, so that 100 Du Wang these people do not believe they are gods while sluggish. Meteor shower is the head of the adults they do. Yanlingji muttered, no, we did not so boring point in this case. The void flame Jiling head slightly twisted. Yi Chen with a kuaya, hollow void footfalls, a light laugh point this moment. 100 Du Wang, exorcism, ghost unparalleled direct the ignorant force, standing proudly empty, there is no internal force fluctuations, really heaven, well, this, is obtained, what is the situation? Yanlingji convoluted path, Legion is a nightmare. Yi Chen mouth macro yang, he'd like to see this nightmare Legion play any tricks at this moment. In addition to the 6 countries outside the capital of the state of Qin, as a fairy arrives inside the palace, the king of the 6 countries with the ministers and the guards took a concubine, stood outside the temple, worshipping the Sky King. Prince Concubine's minister bowed down with the soldiers on the sky. As the fairy people falling meteor those immortal and all of a dart wonderful white hair, clothes fairy floats. Does not look like a mundane human. Meet the fairy, although the king 6th sense on the fear of worship, but on the inside, is a pleasant surprise. There are gods backing, they do not need to be afraid of the state of Qin. Point those countries suspended in the sky gods who have dark hearts chuckle. It was a group of idiots. It seems that Zao completed the task well. PS. 7 tonight will be more to more. 8th wake up still more and more. Readers can sleep for tomorrow. Tomorrow morning look. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelos. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 89 The Conspiracy of the Dream Demon Legion. Wait a minute, this seat is going down to earth tonight. Because of the brutality of Qin, I have ordered all the heroes of the world to be executed together. At that time, we will send heavenly soldiers and generals to come down to earth to help you, and others correct the way. 6 kingdoms, the 6 immortals in the sky, said the same words at the same time. That is, the kin state is not a good bird. You 6 countries go and fight it. The crusade of the kin state is destiny, and God is covering it. What the immortal said is very true. People are raising the army of the whole country every day, and they will fight against the violent kin. It was almost no accident that the kings of the 6 kingdoms responded one by one. They had been bullied by Dakin for so long, and finally they had such an opportunity. Now there are immortals descending into the world, and descending the dazzling and woeful stars. This is the destiny of kin. How can you not do it? As for whether the immortals are fake, they are too lazy to doubt. This is a great opportunity. And after the kings of the 6 kingdoms responded, those immortals flew with their swords and ascended into the sky. The ministers of the 6 kingdoms, the princes and nobles worshipped again for a while, and all of them were very excited. The good days of the kin state have come, and after the kin state is destroyed, how should the land, slaves, and beautiful jewels of the kin state be divided up? 013 Let the 6 kingdoms attack in, and the world will be in chaos. You have some brains. Outside the city of Zinsheng, Chen listened clearly to everything that happened in the palace, secretly saying that he finally met a decent opponent for this mission. The leader. What are the people of the Dream Demon Squad wanting to do? Their mission is to destroy the kin country. Yan Lingji asked. As for the king of 100 poisons, who dared to speak at this moment, they could only stand silently, not even daring to listen. It's not that simple. I'll keep listening. Chen smiled, and then used the thunder fruit he had just obtained to use his heart net to eavesdrop on the immortals who had ascended to heaven with swords. In fact, they did not ascend to the sky, but hid on the invisible flying saucer. Although the stealth flying saucer has no combat power, the technology of Dream Demon Space has some achievements. Hahaha, our plan was successful. On the flying saucer in the sky above Zinsheng, the captain of the Dream Demon Legion, who played the role of the immortal, laughed proudly, and the team members around were also excited. It seems that the ancients were still very superstitious, even if the masters in this world are not weak in martial arts. It is a pity that they never thought that we use magic to fly. It's not worth it that we rented the highest technology, artificial meteors and fantasy flying saucers of Dream Demon Space. Yeah, we paid a lot of points, and we also sacrificed a lot of brothers to spread rumors in advance to pave the way for tonight's plan. However, the price of the information in the Dream Demon Space is a bit cheap this time. I thought it was fake. I didn't expect that the kings of the 6 kingdoms really hated kin, and kin was indeed the strongest country, and was very cruel. Yeah, the information this time is too cheap, but it should be, because there are too many Chinese people in the dream space. Chinese people will know the history of this world. Next, we only need to ensure that the 6 kingdoms and kin will be greatly damaged in the war, and then let the Xiang go south. At that time, all life will be ruined, and the task of destroying the world will be half completed. I heard that the 3 best performing teams can advance this time. Our chances are not small. Yes, 3 silver teams lost contact last night. Oh my god, silver team lost contact. It's terrible. It is estimated that it is careless. After all, the silver team is so strong, it is unlikely to be killed by the natives. Makes sense. Seeing and hearing, Chen listened to the discussion of the bronze team, and his face twitched slightly. Is the silver squad strong? The strongest member of the silver squad is only the level of elite Jnin in Hokage. Most of them are not even Jnin. Cat, is this called strong? In this dream-breaking space, eat jujube and ask for pills. Brother, their tactics this time are not bad, but unfortunately they still have fatal flaws. At this time, Luoheo said lightly, well, this time they have accurate information, and the plan seems to be fine. But in fact it is still full of loopholes. Chen nodded. The Dream Team's think tank is not useless, but compared with the Superdimensional Internet Café's think tank, it is still 108,000 miles behind, and it is not on the same level at all. Each of Aizen and Uchiha Madara's strength and wisdom can completely explode them. Point on the surface, the Dream Demon Legion's plan was perfect, but once the Six Nations began to attack in and the progress was not going well, those immortals might be exposed. Point the people of the Six Nations now believe that the Six Nations will help each other and cannot lose. Point but in fact, after the efforts of the 6th generation king, Dakin is now almost able to unify the 6 kingdoms. The only difference is time. If Dakin defends Hangu Pass, plus the 3 armies of the dynasty, among the 4 famous generals of Sengoku, retreat from the enemy, the 6 kingdoms will not be able to attack Dakin for a while. Point at that time, if the Kin state can expose the conspiracy of the Dream Demon Legion, the moral blow to the 6 nations will be fatal, but this is just right. They will focus on the crusade against the Kin state, and all the members of our internet cafe will focus on the Hangu Pass of the Kin state, and they will be wiped out at that time. Yi Chen chuckled lightly. Point there are 100 teams in the Dream Demon Legion. If they don't unite, looking for them one by one is a bit of a waste of time. It's better to wait for them to concentrate on everything and kill them in waves at that time. Yi Chen will show the Dream Demon Legion and the stupid king of the 6 kingdoms to see what a real fairy looks like. Brother, what are we doing now? Luoheo asked. Point it will definitely take time for the 6 nations to assemble the army. It is impossible to complete the second task tonight. It is meaningless to summon all the members of the internet cafe now. Kill Ji Wuai first and complete the first mission. After that, Yi Chen looked at Yanlingji. Well, I have followed the instructions of the leader of the group and wrote back to ask him to meet tonight. Yanlingji said, very good, then go see this Ji Wuai with cheat. Yi Chen said with a smile. Point he felt that this Ji Wuai was a bit abnormal. Point because Yi Chen killed a total of 2 Travisers. Ryan's task was marked as the mastermind behind the scenes, and Yi Chen didn't know he was a Traviser at first. Point and Blackbird's quest is marked as duelist. Yi Chen didn't know that duelist was Blackbird at first. Point only Ji Wuai's task is to write Ji Wuai, and it is to suppress and take away cheat, not kill him, which is a bit intriguing. Chapter 90 The Golden Ring, Immortal. Outside Zinzheng City, by the Reed River, the port where the boat docked under the moon. Point Ji Wuai brought Mo Yao and Beifeng, 2 handsome and young bodyguards, waiting for Yanling's arrival. General, you are going out late at night, and it's not safe enough to take only the 2 of us with you. Point Mo Yao reminded that there are too many people in this country who want Ji Wuai to die. Point even though Mo Yao and Beifeng are the first class powerhouses in the innate masters, they are not far from the realm of masters, but it is easy for any sect to destroy them. Point even Ji Wuai, who is known as the strongest general of the Han country in 100 years, can't actually fight against the heads of any of the hundreds of schools, and those heads are at the master level. Fuck away if you're afraid of death. This general is not you timid useless scumbags. Ji Wuai hackily hummed. Point if it weren't for it, Mo Yao and Beifeng wouldn't betray him for the time being, and he just killed them. General, calm down. Point Mo Yao and Beifeng were helpless. They had to bow and nod their heads and retreated several dozen meters away to be alert. HMPH, why hasn't that woman come yet? Point Ji Wuai murmured impatiently. Point if it wasn't for the sake of the golden ring on his finger, he wouldn't be waiting here. Even if the other party was a peerless beauty, it wasn't worth waiting for him. Point it's a pity. The energy that this golden ring needs is too amazing, and it can only be obtained by that woman and the purple girl in the Zilanzuan, Nonjihu, and the Red Lotus princess in the palace. Point and if you want to get that kind of power, you can't force them. You must gain their trust, then kill them, and absorb their resentment. Really troublesome, but he knew that, as long as the energy of the golden ring was sufficient, he would be able to rule the world, live forever, and the mere trouble was worth it. Han Fei. Wei Zhuang, in the last life, I died under your calculations, and I will never die in this life. Point Ji Wuai thought of Han Fei and Wei Zhuang, and hated them to the core. One relied on his cleverness to destroy his foundation, and the other killed him instantly on his wedding night, replacing him as the Admiral Army. Point it's a pity that he came back to life again, and was reborn a few years ago, taking the lead. God help me, ha ha ha. The more Ji Woo-I thought about it, the more complacent he became, the more arrogant he became, as if he had already seen the scene where Han Fei and Wei Zhuang were tortured to death by him. What are you laughing at night, Ji Woo-I? Suddenly, a sneering sound sounded, and in an instant, the surrounding void froze directly. The sky and earth lost their color. Only the moon changed from silver to red, and the black crow and white phoenix in the distance fell directly to the ground, and lost consciousness. Heaven and earth become pale. This is the way of the Taoist Xian Zhang. Ji Woo-I's face was full of horror. How could the people of the Taoist Xian Zhang come? He did not offend the Taoist people. And when he saw the four figures walking in outside the eclipsed and blocked environment, he immediately understood. Because Yan Lingji is among them, Yan Lingji is his enemy. So it is normal for the people brought by Yan Lingji to deal with him. Yan Lingji, you are not afraid that I will kill your master Shanzhen? Ji Woo-I said angrily in his heart. In the environment where the world is eclipsed, the voice of the heart can be conveyed, and only the voice of the heart can speak, because people think you are ugly, so please let the leader of the team take action. As for Prince Xian's, I won't bother you to worry. Yan Lingji Jiaodi smiled. In fact, Yi Chen took the initiative. Yan Lingji just deliberately angered Ji Woo-I. Patriarch? Beiyu people. Ji Woo-I said with a frown, does Beiyu still have this number? Ji Woo-I, you are not only ugly, but also your brain is not good. Yi Chen looked at Ji Woo-Yaruchi and couldn't help sneering. In the Qin Dynasty Manga universe, all the important characters with names and surnames, whether they are villains or not, whether male or female, have a high appearance. The villains Ling Weizhuang, Bloody Hao, Xian's, Zhao Gao, etc. each have hacky or unique aura, and their looks are quite high. Only Ji Woo-I was a mudslide in the Qin Dynasty, the wrinkles before getting old, and the big mole on the face that symbolizes the traitorous villain, all of which prove that Ji Woo-I is different. Damn, you dare to humiliate this general? Believe it or not, I will bring 100,000 troops to kill your 9 clans. Ji Woo-I said angrily. However, as soon as the voice fell, the void ripples trembled. Luo Heo cut off Ji Woo-I's head across the room. Puff, the corpse of Ji Woo-I, who had lost his head, knelt on the ground, blood gushing like a spring, and a pair of eyes in the head that had been chopped off were huge, as if he could not rest. Brother, this kind of waste, you don't need 3 people to complete the task, Luo said coldly. To deal with this week, there is no need to waste time at all, just kill it directly. 0 Ask for flowers. There must be a reason for the mission to be released like this. And he has a cheat. Yi Chen remembered that Ji Woo-I's quest reward was 10,000 membership points, which was not a small amount. And judging from Ji Woo-I's words just now, this Ji Woo-I is obviously a rebirth, and must have a cheat on him. Chen, ghost. Aqua suddenly exclaimed. Ji Woo-I's head actually flew up, staring at Yi Chen and his group. Hahaha, do you think you're ready for me? Watch me fly down, flying head down. Yi Chen was stunned. Ji Woo-I can do this kind of sorcery. What kind of cheat did he get? It is a pity that, even if Ji Woo-I has more skills, it is meaningless, and his strength is too weak. 0 had number 4, Beilei. Yi Chen pointed a single point, and a thunder beam pierced through the void. Ugh. The brain was split, and Ji Woo-I's head turned into a lump of mincemeat. Even if he could fly his head down, it would be useless. I really didn't expect Ji Woo-I to be able to do witchcraft. Yan Lingji said in surprise. The earliest witchcraft came from Beiyu. Brother, it's a little strange. I obviously killed him just now. Luo Heo murmured lightly at this time. Huh. He came back to life again. Yi Chen squinted at Ji Woo-I and found that Ji Woo-I's broken head was actually fused, and this time it was recombined with his body, completely resurrected, and his breath changed, got stronger. Originally, Ji Woo-I was barely considered a master level martial artist, but now he has reached the pinnacle of the master. Hahaha, you can't kill me, I'm immortal. The more times you kill me, the stronger I will become. You all wait to die. Road, so it is. At this moment, Yi Chen finally understood why this task required 3 people, and the rewards were generous, and there was a random reinforcement. Brother, what are you going to do? Luo Haoking asked. If Ji Wuai really got stronger and stronger, it would be unwise to shoot Ji Wuai again. What should I do? Of course, it is to drain Ji Wuai's remaining value. Yi Chen said with murderous intent. He doesn't think Ji Wuai can be reborn infinitely. That doesn't exist. Chapter 91. The devil comes to the world, and the sword reappears. Drain the value of this general. Ha ha ha. What a big joke. Ji Wuai smiled wildly, and waved the heavy blade 8 feet in his hand, and waved the fierce knife. The knife ripped apart the earth, and slashed towards Yi Chen. Unstoppable. Pin. With a light sound, Yi Chen flicked his fingers, and clicked on the knife, making a sound of a collision of diamonds, and then the gas quickly dissipated under the collision. But Yi Chen's finger skin was not broken. How is this possible? Ji Wuai couldn't believe it. His knife was shattered by a finger. Yes, the martial arts of the Grand Master's peak is comparable to that of the Marine Elite Vice Admiral. Yi Chen nodded, approving the martial arts of this world. Kinshimingai universe is worthy of being a fantasy martial arts world, and if you want to come to Marine Admiral, your physical skills will not exceed that of the Great Master. It's just that Admiral is a capable person who can attack the island and smash an army of 1 million. While the Grand Master can only demolish a tower at most, and the limit is 10,000 enemies. The overall strength is that Admiral is stronger, but in melee combat, Admiral is estimated to be inferior to the Great Master, unless it is Admiral who specializes in physical arts, such as Zephyr and Marine Hero 013 Garb. What Elite Vice Admiral, Marine? Ji Wuyaruchi's face was stunned. Even the Navy was rare in this era. Where did Marine come from? And what the hell is Vice Admiral? How can there be such a position in the military? It seems that you are indeed not a transmigrator, but a lucky rebirth. Yi Chen has been eavesdropping on Ji Wuai's heart with the heart net formed by seeing, hearing, color plus thunder fruit, knowing that Ji Wuai is really ignorant. No wonder the mission is to suppress Ji Wuai and take away his cheat, not kill him. In other words, you can kill or not. After thinking about it, Yi Chen looked at Qianlingji and said, would you like to kill him? Kill it. To vent anger for Prince Xian's, and it can also be regarded as a killing for the people. Qianlingji said without hesitation. Xianze has been tortured by Ji Wuai for more than 10 years, and her hatred is overwhelming, and she will not feel at ease if she does not kill Ji Wuai. Actually, I think so too. Yi Chen smiled faintly, then looked at Ji Wuai. His eyes were cold, like a prey on the town. Facing Yi Chen's sharp eyes, Ji Wuai shuddered, but he said in a stern voice, kill me, can you do it? Ugh. As soon as the words fell, a thunder beam cannon blasted Ji Wuai's head. After eating thunder fruit, Beilei's power is stronger. Yi Chen flicked his fingers lightly and muttered, Kid is an attack with spiritual essence, which can cause physical damage, but the main damage is for the spirit body. Kid was created to deal with the monsters in Ukomundo, and it is also an important means for Shinigami to fight each other, so physical attacks are weak point. But after Yi Chen got Thunder Fruit, Kid Thunder's physical attack also skyrocketed. Brother, he is resurrected again. Luoheo reminded, the dead bastard, I want to smash your corpse. Ji Wuai's broken head was healed again, exuding monstrous demonic energy, staring at Yi Chen, his eyes like a devil who came out of Hellpoint, and under the influence of Ji Wuai's demonic energy, the realm where the world was pale began to tremble, and it felt like it was about to be broken through. Yes, it can affect the color of my world. It seems that you have entered the Great Master. If you want to eclipse the secret law of Hadshai and Zhang, you must have strong internal strength, and of course it depends on the strength of the person who uses the eclipse. Yi Chen's strength has completely exploded the Great Master, so even if Ji Wuai enters the Great Master, he still can't break through the world and lose his color. Go to die. 8 feet to waist, Ji Wuai swung the blunt knife, and the golden ring on his finger exuded a strange brilliance, sending out a knife several feet wide. This level of energy is no weaker than Summit War Eagle Eye Sword energy that splits mountains and seas. Very good. At this moment, seeing Ji Wuai's power skyrocketing, Yi Chen was not surprised, but rather happy, because the stronger Ji Wuai, the more worth it is to swallow. Power Goat. Yi Chen raised his hand and pointed at the phantom of the beast and goat on the sky, which caused infinite thunder, and the lightning quickly fell. Point boom. The lightning that was almost instantaneous shattered Ji Wuai's astral energy and smashed Ji Wuai into slag. Yanlingji took a deep breath, but she did not expect that Ji Wuai, whose strength had skyrocketed, was still vulnerable. Even if he knew that the leader of the group was very strong, he was still very shocked. I didn't expect my brother to use the power directly. Luo Liang was slightly surprised. This is like killing chickens with a knife and cannons against mosquitoes. Woo. Chen, why haven't you killed that ugly general? Aqua muttered, so boring, this task, come on, he's reaching his limit. Yi Chen said lightly. Boom. As soon as the voice fell, Ji Wuai's smashed corpse erupted into a monstrous black gas, breaking through the shackles of the eclipse world, and reassembled into a demon body, constantly absorbing the demonic energy to grow, and his posture was like a demon king who came out of hell, heavenly class, looking at Ji Wuai, who closed his eyes and absorbed the waste gas. Luo Tao frowned. There was an absolute strength gap between a celestial level warrior and a great master, and he could kill dozens of great masters with one palm point. Even if a few hundred great masters were to besiege the celestial beings, it would be impossible to cause any harm to the celestial beings. If in her world, the martial arts break through to heaven and man, she will be directly conferred a god. Even Luo Heo couldn't advance to the level of heaven and man, not because of his talent, but since the Shang and Zhao dynasties, no one in the world has been able to break through to heaven and man and conferred a god. Unexpectedly, this inconspicuous world, there will be able-bodied people. There were gods and humans in this world in ancient times, and there are even gem necklaces made from the tears of Kai Yao Jian and Jiushan Zuanv. Yi Chen said lightly. Yanlingji was shocked. It turns out that her world is so dangling, even the tears of Jiushan Zuanv. So Jiushan Zuanv must also exist. If Jiushan Zuanv's tears are obtained, wouldn't it be possible to summon the incarnation of Jiushan Zuanv's god of disobedience? Luo Heo's eyes lit up. That god was her old skill, and her instincts had already formed. As for Chiao's sword, she intends to dedicate it to Yi Chen. Only elder brother is qualified to kill such demon gods. In everything, you should give priority to your elder brother, and you will be a good younger sister. Luo Heo said, it should be possible. Let Yanlingji find it in the future. You can pay her again. Yi Chen is not interested in trying to kill Jiushan Zuanv. At present, he has not fully digested the divine power of the war god and the god king. It is not too late to kill slowly after it is digested. There are too many living holy relics in the superdimensional internet cafe that can attract the gods of disobedience. Yi Chen asked them to do a little favor, and they would not refuse. Ho, this seat wants you to die. At this time, Ji Wuai, who absorbed the tacit understanding between heaven and earth and completely demonized, was like a demon descending into the world, emitting bursts of roar, bringing endless darkness, and the earth lost all its brilliance. No, it's time for me to send you on your way. Power golden sword. Yi Chen took out the great golden sword from the blocking void and directly activated the divine space, blocking Ji Wuai in the space full of golden swords. This natural enemy's breath is the sword of trying to kill gods and demons. On Chen Ji Wuai's fingers, the golden ring trembled slightly, with a stern expression on his face. Who in the world did the divine sword come from? It's a pity that Yi Chen didn't give Ji Wuai any chance to speak. With a wave of the golden sword, countless swords rained down. Ji Wuai tried his best to resist, but was still penetrated by countless divine swords, and became a hornet's nest. Damn it, I will not die. I will be reborn again, and then kill you. Ji Wuai said angrily, I haven't killed you yet, how can you be resurrected? Yi Chen came to Ji Wuai reluctantly in a flash, sacrificed Frostmourne, cut off his fingers, then held the golden finger 3.7 ring in his hand, and then pierced Ji Wuai's heart. Dark Eater. No, Ji Wuai, who lost the golden ring, died instantly, and his body and soul were completely swallowed up. After swallowing Ji Wuai, the Frostmourne power in Yi Chen's hands became stronger and darker. This is what my brother said. Maximize the benefits. Luo Heo said lightly. It turned out that he was resurrected by a ring. Aqua suddenly realized at this time. Luo Heo and Yan Lingji both rolled their eyes. She just realized that when Ji Wuai was resurrected for the second time, the golden ring glowed. Obviously. This task requires 3 people. It is estimated that the person who performs the task is too mentally retarded. It is impossible for 3 people to be mentally retarded. If all 3 are mentally retarded, then the task is really likely to fail. The mission has not yet been completed. Chen looked at the ring in his hand and smiled lightly. Brother is saying there is something wrong with the ring. Luo Heo said, I can hear the inner monologue inside the ring. Chen smiled slightly, and the skill HeartNet is really easy to use. Chapter 92 The Ring of Faith. Brother, why doesn't my mind sense the ring's voice? Luo Heo was slightly surprised when Chen said that the golden ring had a heart. She was in control of almost all of China's supernatural powers, combining the masters of various schools of thought and the true meaning of Confucianism, Buddhism, and Taoism. He has a mind. Of course she has this kind of magical power, but she can't hear the heart of the golden ring. I started shouting a little unexpectedly. Chen chuckled and said, This time, he ate thunder fruit and then did the task. Originally, he wanted to use Xinhuang to eavesdrop on the voice of the Mengmo team. After all, the Mengmo space is the primary goal of the Superdimensional Internet Cafe point. Even if the performance of the Dream Demon team was very low, Chen would not let down his guard and would not give them a chance. When dealing with Ji Wuai, Chen accidentally heard Ji Wuai talking with the golden ring in his heart, so he concluded that there was a soul inside. His mind is more advanced than ordinary observation hacking and mind reading. But the origin of the golden ring is very mysterious and hidden so deeply that Luo Heo can't hear it. Chen can hear it because of the HeartNet, which is similar to listening to the voice of all things. Although it is ineffective for non-living things, it can be heard by the soul of 20 in the ring. Chen, what kind of soul is in that ring? Looking at the ring, Aqua blinked curiously and said, It must be an evil spirit. Yan Lingji said, evil, the remnant inside is evil, with deep resentment, no ego, only instinct. Let me tell you his story. After a pause, Chen then began to tell that he heard the story in the ring. The golden ring is an ancient treasure of a universe called Zhao, and Modazhao, the owner of the ring, was originally a handyman disciple of a small sect of the great Zhao dynasty named Zukan. He suddenly rose up because he accidentally picked up the golden ring and became the sect's holy son. It's the pinnacle of life. But the next story should be easy to guess. That saint is a scheming bitch, and she approached him to find out the secret of his rise. After getting his secret, she complimented a prince of Zhao, the great dynasty, and then framed Zukan and beat Zukan to the core. Just before dying, Zukan detonated the power of the golden ring and came to die together. Then the golden ring traveled through time and space, came to this world, and was obtained by Ji Wuai. Ji Wuai's monstrous resentment before his death inspired the power of the golden ring and made Ji Wuai reborn. And because Zukan's remnant soul was in the ring, Ji Wuai didn't know that he was not the owner of the ring and only regarded Zukan's remnant soul as a tool spirit. And what Zukan asked Ji Wuai to do was to let Ji Wuai play with the feelings of the arrogant women in this world and then brutally kill them and devour their souls. And the targets were Yan Lingji, Zenu, and Nang, Jade, Red Lotus, Shao Siming, and other goddesses. Zukan's remnant soul can sense their extraordinary luck. Now you understand? Chen said, I didn't expect a Thorwald to have such a story. That saint is good or bad? Aqua murmured, I'm actually interested in the universe of that immortal demon Great Zhao. Luo said lightly, pointers, that the fantasy universe. It sounds unusual, Gagaga. If there is no leader of the group, wouldn't the little girl be very dangerous just now? The leader of the group, you have to protect others. Yan Lingji held Chen's hand, looking frightened, arrogantly glaring at Chen wave after wave. Luo Heo's eyes turned cold. This Yan Lingji would really look for opportunities. To think she was transparent. Let go of Chen. That general is so ugly. How could you fall in love with him? Aqua pointed at Yan Lingji and said angrily, Chen, Yan Lingji, and Luo Yang turned their gazes to Aqua instantly and were quite surprised. What's the matter? Did I say something wrong? Aqua muttered with some guilt when she saw the three of them staring at her in surprise. You're right. Hahaha. I think so too. This ring has chosen a good owner. Chen touched Aqua's head and laughed. Point as far as Ji Wui's face is like a mudslide. Do you still want Yan Lingji and the others to fall in love with him willingly? Don't say that Ji Wui is deceitful. Even if he reforms, Yan Lingji and the others will at most give him one sentence. You are a good person. It can only be said that the owner of this golden ring is too unlucky. Chen thought, brother, what ability does this ring have, and why can Ji Wui be reborn infinitely? Luoheo asked curiously at this time. This ring relies on the power of belief, the belief in the heart and the belief in the world. The belief in the heart is immortal. It is immortal, and it can devour the belief of the world to strengthen himself. Ji Wui keeps being demonized because he swallows it. The only thing is that the belief comes from the common people of Han country. The common people here are eager for him to die and treat him like a ghost. This is also a kind of belief, but in that case, Ji Wui will lose himself because he absorbs too much hatred. Chen explained lightly. Luoheo frowned slightly. The ability of this ring is very strong. If you give Ji Wuyi some time to develop, then G013 Wuyi can really be heaven defying. But unfortunately when he meets his brother, he can only die. The power of faith. I understand this. Aqua giggled. She was the goddess who ignited the fire of faith. If there is no faith, she will disappear, and conversely, the more faith, the stronger she will be. Well, Aqua, come and purify the remnants inside. It's the most appropriate thing for you to do. Chen thought for a while and said, Aqua is the goddess of water. Her strongest talent is purification, and she can kill the remnant soul inside very comfortably. Look at this goddess. Aqua took a smug look at Luoki, and then happily took the golden ring in Chen's hand, purifying and destroying Zukan's remnant soul inside. After the golden ring became an ownerless thing, Aqua gave it back to Chen. This is Achen's trophy. Chen held the ring and submitted the task. Ding. The mission is completed. Whether to return, not coming back. Chen intends to play here for 2 days. 2 days later, all members of the Superdimension Internet Cafe will come. When that time comes, let the world see the real battle of gods. Moreover, Chen obtained the secret treasure of the Ring of Faith, just to test the water in this world. Chapter 93. This is someone else's fairy. 2 days later, Han, the capital city of Xinzheng, Zilanzuan. Xinzheng's largest selling gold nest is also the most famous place of love and moon in the 7 kingdoms. Young Master Yi, please take it slow. In an accordion, Zilanzuan's owner, Xinu, wriggled her graceful figure, holding a jade pot, and poured a double amount of wine for a handsome young man in white, who was like a fairy in the world. In front of the white-clothed sun, there was a beautiful woman who was as beautiful as jade, flicking with her jade fingers and playing a touching chord sound of nature. Chen was lying on his side on the seat, sipping the wine lightly, listening to the ditty, and enjoying himself. Under the seat, Yan Lingji gently hammered Chen's legs. Aqua sat on the cushion against Chen's arms, and Luoheo sat aside. Non-Jiu girl's music has a faint melody of entering the tower after the beautiful woman finished playing a song. Chen lightly opened his eyes and smiled. Non-Jiu is Zilangsuan's geisha who does not sell herself, and is also an assassin secretly cultivated by Xinu. But aside from her identity as an assassin, her musical talent is really high. On a piece of music, she has the potential to become a great master. Luoheo nodded lightly, a rare recognition of a person. Of course, it's just the way of the piano. Luoheo felt that Non-Jiu was still a long way from her. The sun is too famous, and the girl is too famous. Non-Jiu smiled and nodded. Chen and Luoheo are both her bosom friends, and their identities are extraordinary. These 2 days have caused great waves in Xinzheng City. King Han worshipped the two in front of the civil and military people of the dynasty, regarded them as gods, and built a Taoist temple for the two, and issued numerous policies that benefit the country and the people. As if a different person. It is said that Ji Wui was also killed by the two of them, and the night has collapsed. Xians, the prince of Beiyu, known as the red-browed dragon and snake, was pardoned by King Han and returned to Beiyu, but Yan Lingji stayed and grew up. With the fairy point, Xenu and Nanyu want to know the identity of Yi Chen and his party, and want to know if there are really immortals in the world. If there is an immortal, these two will definitely leave Zilanzuan to Night Point, because the Six Kingdoms have a total of 2 million troops. They have been transported by the immortal's magic weapon, what is called the Flying Saucer, and all gathered under the Hangu Pass in the past 2 days. As long as the natural danger of Hangu Pass is broken, Dakin will die. It's almost time point. Just when Nonjae and Xenu were secretly nervous, Yi Chen smiled slightly. Oh, the young master is an important thing for the immortal to guide the crusade against Dakin, the purple girl asked tentatively. You don't need to try, Miss Xenu. I've been in Zinzheng for the past 2 days, just for tonight's business. Yi Chen said lightly. It turns out that the sun has long known that Xenu will punish herself for a cup. Xenu laughed and apologized for drinking, but it was decent. Point on the other hand, Nonjae was slightly nervous, a little afraid of losing the two bosom friends. That sun, are you really a fairy? Xenu asked calmly, after drinking the apology wine. She is the goddess, she is the devil. Yi Chen pointed at Aqua and Luoz lightly. Point the purple girl and Nonjae, who were instantly shocked. At first glance, Aqua was dressed as a witch in the western regions, but she turned out to be a goddess, and Luoheo, such a beautiful fairy, is actually a devil, and Nonjae can't believe that one of her bosom friends is a devil. Point it simply subverts the world viewpoint. However, while the two women were shocked, they also understood what Yi Chen meant. His female companions were not ordinary people, not to mention him. His status could only be more noble. That sun, are you really going to destroy Kin? Xenu is a little nervous. She is not a geisha or a businessman. She has a close relationship with the Gigu faction. The behind-the-scenes boss of Zilangsuan is the two descendants of the Gigu faction, one of Wei Zhuang. Point therefore, her problem is not only her problem, but also the problem of Wei Zhuang and Giguzi. Destroy Kin. No. We are here to slay the dream demon. Point with a smile. Yi Chen got up lightly and said, thank you for the hospitality these 2 days, and this good show tonight will serve as a thank you. As soon as the voice fell, Luoheo tacitly performed Taoism, and the air and water droplets condensed into a planet, which showed the scene of Hangu Pass. At this moment, the 600,000 defenders of Dakin at Hangu Pass are facing off against the 2 million 6-power allied forces. The 6 nations allied forces have tried several times to attack, but they have all been blocked by the Dakin Iron Army. However, the morale of the 6 nations is too strong, and the number of Dakin is too small. What a magical power. The purple girl looked at the war scene and said with admiration, war is too cruel. Nonjae looked at the dead life in the picture and couldn't bear it. You can take your time here, let's go first. Yi Chen waved his hand, indicating that they don't have to hold back, and then use the power of the incarnation of the wind. The kamikaze rolled and disappeared in the accord with Luo, Aqua, and Yanlingji. Point before Yi Chen disappeared, Nonjae hurriedly shouted, Sir, can we meet again? A faint sentence floated back in the void. It depends on your luck. My luck. Nonjae and Xenu are very curious. Why do they depend on luck? Point then, when they looked at the battle scene in the crystal ball, they were thoughtful. Point Hangu Pass. Kill all the Kin dogs. Kill. Crusade against the violent Kin. Under the guidance of the immortals, the soldiers of the 6 kingdoms charged with enthusiasm and attacked Hangu Pass. The members of the Dream Demon Squad are all secretly hiding on the Flying Saucer. Triumphantly, when they enter Kin, we will let the Huns go south. This time, we will definitely be able to complete this mission and finally be able to successfully destroy a world. Hahaha, great. Yeah, missions are rarely that smooth. The members of the Dream Demon Squad expressed a lot of emotion, but we can't be careless right now. We, the captains who know magic, go down to help and make them believe that we are real gods, while the team members are mixed in the army to kill people to earn points. The most powerful one in the Dream Demon Legion, said the captain. Okay, let's go. Several powerful captains glanced at each other, nodded, and all used the pilot's floating magic to fly to Hangu Pass. Magic Great Fireball, Magic Hurricane Slash, Earth Style Earth Stream, Leaf of 5 Thunders hit the top, Fire Style Great Fireball Technique. Point rumbling suddenly, in the sky, immortals descended into the world. sending out powers that mortals do not have, attacking Hangu Pass. Wow, it's the fairy gods, come and help us, kill all the enemies with the help of the immortals. The morale of the army of the Six Nations skyrocketed, and the morale of Dakin suffered a fatal blow again. Damn it. Hangu Guan, the martial dynasty in his 50s, gritted his teeth, not expecting the other party to come out like this. Haven't the masters of the Yin Yang family arrived yet? These immortals are not much stronger than the Yin Yang family. They only incited the people of the Six Nations by dazzling the meteors. In the eyes of the master level martial artist Wang Fei, these bullshit immortals are just aliens who can master alchemy. They are similar to the masters of the Yin Yang family, but their methods are a bit weirder. As long as the masters of the Yin Yang family arrive and kill one of these immortals, or injure one of them, the rumors will be self-defeating, and then Dakin can make the Six Nations pay the price in blood. Marshall, the Yin Yang family won't come. Everyone knows that this is an opportunity. The opportunity to destroy Qin. How can they not stop the Yin Yang family? Standing beside him, the young General Meng Xian shook his head and said point. No matter how powerful the Yin Yang family was, it couldn't match the union of the 100 schools. Could it be that my Dakin is really going to die? Wang Jian was unwilling to fight for Dakin all his life, and he would eventually lose to a natural disaster, a rumor, and a group of villains. Kula. I didn't expect us to arrive so timely. Suddenly, a long laughter came from the void above Hangu Pass. Under the fluctuation of the laughter, the ground of Hangu Pass shook like an earthquake point, and after the laughter, Master Merlin descended from the sky and landed in the sky over Hangu Pass, looked at the sluggish Qin army, and joked, "Qin army? No tiger tanks, no star destroyers, bad review." And after Merlin appeared, the figures of the superdimensional internet cafes also appeared one after another. Aizen, Archer Hamadara, Whitebird, Magneto, Athena, Laozi and others all stand proudly in the void, and the spleen is overcast point as for muted game, King, Liuha, Waste Shizzy, Sage Hui, and others, but they were all on the spaceship controlled by Magneto. After all, they had no power. What's the situation? Wang Jian couldn't believe it. How could there be so many people, and the auras of the first few were like gods and demons, making him dare not look directly. Hahaha, it's the reinforcement of the gods. The commander-in-chief of the Six Nations was full of excitement. He didn't expect that the gods in the heavens wanted to destroy Qin so much, and he deliberately sent the gods down, and his aura was much stronger than the previous group of gods. To be honest, they all doubted the identities of those immortals before, but now they are convinced. Point only. What's the situation? The Dream Demon squad is collectively stunned. Is it the reinforcement of the Dream Demon space? But the Golden squad also does not have such a strong aura. You're finally here. I've been waiting for a few minutes. After Aizen and the others descended, the silhouettes of Yi Chen, Luo Heo, Aqua, and Yanling GK appeared leisurely. Point after Yi Chen appeared, he looked at Merlin for the first time and said with a smile, "Is it a bad review? Maybe the first emperor of this world may one day find the fantasy tree to make alchemy, then you should not regret it." With the character of the first emperor, who is the first emperor? Dakin, who dares to humiliate him, will not let you go, even if he crosses endless dimensions. Cough, cough. I received what Zhou just said. As compensation, I helped them kill the Six Nation Allied forces. Merlin said embarrassingly. Point what are you doing? The Six Nations Allied forces. Our goal is the Dream Demon Legion. Laozi emphasized that he did not want the 6 countries in China to suffer heavy losses, all of whom were Chinese, and some of them were descendants of his old friends. Yeah. Point seeing that Luo Heo was also staring at him with a cold look, Merlin nodded again and again. Well, on the premise of trying not to accidentally injure the Six Nations army, let's fight as much as possible. Yi Chen said. Cut. Trouble. Archer Hamadara originally wanted to use Planetary Devastation's regiment to destroy the army of the 6 countries, but now he can only use a more clever method. Both Whitebird and Aizen frowned slightly. They couldn't use a wide-range attack, They were really puzzled. Hey, isn't this a very simple thing? At this time, Magneto made the first move and raised his hand, point buzzing. In an instant, the weapons of the army of the Six Nations were sucked into the sky, and then they killed the immortals of the Dream Demon Squad. No, under the terrifying attack of Magneto, the team captains who acted as immortals were completely vulnerable, and they were instantly pierced by one giant, and they died so horribly that there were not even bones left in their bodies. What's the situation? The army of the Six Nations is collectively stunned, and the immortals beat the immortals. And will the immortals also die? And the blood is red. So dishonest. Oops, this is someone else's immortal. Zaoguo Command Limu exclaimed. Chapter 94 Laozi conferred God. Upgraded. 2 newbies. The fairy of someone else's house. Hearing General Limu's astonishment, the bodies of the nearby generals trembled violently, thinking of something very bad. General Limu, can you explain clearly what someone else's immortal is? A young general in the country, who is also a relative of the royal family, asked. Idiot, don't you understand? Enemy, these immortals are our enemies. Xiang Yan, a famous general of Chu state, cursed angrily. I can't figure out such a simple reason. Be a general with a hammer. Why is it happening like that? The young general of Yan country looked at Magneto, who was slaughtering all directions in the sky, and then looked at the slain Dream Demon Squad. This is the difference between other people's gods and their gods. The difference is too big. Suddenly, the head of a Dream Demon Squad leader exploded from the sky and fell on the hand of the general of the state of Yan. RRR. Run away. Run away. General Yan Jiuo ignored the opinions of others and was so frightened. On the battlefield, the army of the Six Nations had almost the same idea and instantly lost morale and fled in embarrassment. Had 90 black coffin in the sky. The battle continued, and Aizen also took action. The black coffin wrapped a flying saucer and killed all the Dream Demon Squad inside. Aizen, it's so foul for you to hit a flying saucer like this. Tony was wearing the newly created mecha, looking at Aizen in the sky with resentment on his face. He rushed into the army of the Six Nations to kill the dream team that was mixed inside, while Aizen hit the flying saucer in the sky. So treacherous. Does the rules say that you can't hit the sky? Aizen said with a slight smile. Tony was speechless, but unfortunately his mecha was a first generation mecha, and its function was too poor to destroy the flying saucer in the sky. Are you playing a flying saucer? Kula la la. Air shock. Susanoo. Shinigami Scythe. Magnetic blast. After Aizen shot against the UFO, Whitebird, Archer Hamadara, Athena, and Magneto also shot against the UFO. Rumbling the flying saucer on the sky suddenly exploded, almost terrifying Liu Hua, Xia Shizi, eyeing Lily and others. Seeing the war scene with their own eyes was much more shocking to them than the live broadcast. Damn. Shoot. Use the Star Destroyer. The members of the Dream Demon Legion on the flying saucer panicked. Idiot, where did our flying saucers come from? Star Destroyers. They don't even have nuclear bombs and missiles. It's okay to use our personal machine guns, mortars, and grenades, so don't hide it. But, at the juncture of life and death, the members of the Dream Demon Squad nodded and took out the hot weapons that they treasured on weekdays. Magic Doodle. He even shot at Yi Chen's location for the first time, because Yi Chen was standing in the center of the internet cafe members, and at first glance he was the leader. God's judgment. Yi Chen didn't expect that they would choose him to perform surgery. Is he good looking to bully? He immediately raised his hand to attract the thunder beam. Rumbling under the bombardment of the thunder beam, the flying saucers that attacked Yi Chen were all shattered and turned into a mass of scum. Shocking. Is this a good show? It was a total massacre. Thousands of miles away in Zilanzuan, Xenu and Nanyu were all laughing. This play is wonderful, shocking, but there is no cat thought. Sure enough, the idea of immortals is different from that of us mortals. I thought the young master said. What kind of peerless demon king is the dream demon? Xenu felt that she could kill a few dream demons on the battlefield. Outside the Hangu Pass, the Six Nation Coalition camp was full of wreckage. RRR. It's over. We are over. The Six Kingdoms are over. Our immortals are fake. and the immortals of others are real. I'm going to die. I'm going to die. Mother, I'm going home. The Six Nations army watched Chen and other immortals attack, and the immortals on their side had no chance to fight back. They suddenly cried and shouted with despair on their faces. On the battlefield, they either fled or waited to die in pain. Win. We will win like this. When Hangu closed, Wang Jian was also stunned. What kind of situation was this? Where did these immortals come from? Supreme Heavenly Venerate, General Wang is here. Point at this time, Laozi descended from the sky riding a green ox, landed on Hangu Pass, and said lightly, "Old immortal, who are you?" Wang Zhr respectfully bowed his hands. Laozi said lightly, "Old immortal." Wang Jian immediately knelt down. Dakin soldiers also knelt down one after another. Lier is a person from hundreds of years ago. At that time, the Zhao royal family was still there, but the princes were fighting for hegemony, and the Zhao king was dull, so he traveled around the world and stayed in the Qin state for the longest time, and founded the Taoist Xianzong in the Qin state. According to rumors, Laozi also flew west out of Hangu Pass. Therefore, the old Qin people regarded Laozi as their immortal. The god who rescued you this time is the supreme ruler of the heavens and the world, Tianyuan Wuji Wu Wu Xianzhen. You respect him as the Wu Wu Holy Emperor, the Holy Emperor of Nothingness, the old immortal. Wang Jian remembered it. Wang Jian's eyes lit up, and he asked him to remember the name. It must be the time to worship, and worship the Holy Emperor of Nothingness in the future. Master Team Leader, your order has been completed. Laozi returned to Chen and said, "Very good." Chen nodded, looked at the golden ring in his hand, smiled slightly, and then asked, "Old man, won't you do it?" The old man, I went back to the Taoist school 2 days ago, and asked the disciples of the Taoist heaven and human sect to encircle and suppress the dream demon team lurking in Dakin, so I won't rob them here. Laozi smiled slightly, Chen didn't expect that he could play like this. Letting his disciples kill the head would be considered Laozi's. Besides, the Xianzong Rinzong had a lot of power, and there were a lot of masters. Beimingzi was still a great master, the dream demon team lurking in the Qin country, and preparing to make trouble after the invasion of the Six Kingdoms has no chance of surviving at all. Master Chief, why don't you do it? Laozi asked curiously. Could it be that the leader of the group is so high-spirited and doesn't compete with the members for rations? It's not like that, almost. Chen said lightly. Laozi didn't know why. Xin Wang, Wan Lei. After Chen had about 30% dead in the Dream Demon Legion, Xin Wang locked all the remaining members, and then 5 thunders hit the top, instantly kill more than 100 members of the Dream Demon squad. His membership increased by more than 10,000 points, and with the previous gains, it rose directly to 20,000 points. Okay, it's over. Chen said lightly, it's over. Laozi looked at the enemy camp full of wreckage. After this battle, Dakin unified the world and was unstoppable. With today's lesson, they will definitely not dare to be the enemy of Qin again. Although there were still a lot of troubles, it was the first emperor's headache, not Chen's concern. After pacifying the Dream Demon Legion and killing not a single one, Chen took the members of the Superdimensional Internet Cafe to the Dakin Palace to hold an Internet Cafe dinner. The young Qin king Ying Zheng ran out without even wearing shoes, but Chen was having an internal dinner, so he didn't meet him. However, Ying Zheng was not unhappy. Tonight, Ying Zheng actually had trouble sleeping and eating, and was very worried that Dakin would perish at his hands in the end. After learning that Laozi came into the world, a goddess descended to earth to help Dakin. Ying Zheng, who was almost worried with grey hair these days, was overjoyed. Ying Zheng is a person who attaches great importance to feelings and kindness. If it weren't for the fact that he is a king, he would probably kneel down outside the door and give thanks. But he is a king and cannot lose his identity, so he ordered Chen to meet all their needs, and Chen and his party left quietly after having a meal in the palace. Seeing the immortal leaving without saying goodbye, Ying Zheng, who was waiting outside, was a little disappointed, but he vowed in his heart, I must find the elixir of life and pursue the path of immortality in the future. Chen was surprised when he saw Ying Zheng again. Super Dimension Internet Cafe. Golden Retriever, it's finally over. Seeing the big boss's war with his own eyes is more shocking than being there. It's not my fault for the poisonous tongue. It's a little depressing, but in retrospect, it's still a little starry point evil king true eye. Before we watch the live broadcast, no matter how real it is, we all know that it is fake, and it is different from experiencing the war in person. Point the strongest dad. Children, don't talk about these wars. Say something happy. In other words, I found that I can log into the online game mode, and I can continue to brush pictures. Evil King Zen Iron. Really? Is the network upgrade completed? Chen. Well, the upgrade is complete. You can check the system prompt in the lower right corner of the computer. Hearing this, all the members looked at the system and prompted, updated content. 1. The time and space store is updated, and new products can be viewed by yourself. Online game mode upgrade. Game content update 3. New props. Hyperdimensional network card. The exclusive ID card of Internet Cafe members, with which it can log into the hyperdimensional Internet Cafe at any time. 4. New function. Check-in. Log into the Internet Cafe once a day, and for 1 month in a row, you can get 300 member points plus a lottery. Golden Retriever. Hey, a lot of content has been added this time, and finally there is a channel for civilians to obtain membership points. Chen. Well, it's the gospel of the common people, the strongest man on earth. It's also a new gospel. King said he was really poor, and had no membership at all. Zhuang Zen Iron. Are you Mengxin? It's been a few days and I haven't seen Mengxin. It's not my fault for the poisonous tongue. It was maintenance before, and newcomers couldn't get in, and this should depend on luck. How can someone come after the upgrade? Shizi felt that Mengxin didn't happen every day, but her voice just fell. Ding. There are 2 netizens who log into the Superdimension Internet Cafe. Chapter 95 The Fairy Queen and the Ice Queen. Golden Retriever. Hey, listen to what I found. Evil King Zen Iron. Hey, they are 2 cute newcomers. Sage Hui. Hey, I just said that no one will come to Mengxin. It's not my fault for the poisonous tongue. What are you feeding? Believe it or not, I punch a quack. Zaya Shizzy humped. She did not expect such a coincidence. It must be a coincidence. Tony. Hey, Miss Poison Tongue's crow's mouth is still as effective as ever. It's not my fault for the poisonous tongue. Mr. Big Shit, did you swell up after you recognized a father recently? Tony. Hey, someone attacked him personally. Golden Retriever. Mr. Big Shit, aren't you ironing in the cave? Tony. Cut. I killed those militants last night. Wait, didn't you see my heroic appearance from killing the quartet? It's not my fault for the poisonous tongue. Compared to the big guys, who cares about your battles? Evil King Zen Iron. And your name is Yingzi? I remember a dream demon team leader who almost killed you, but the leader saved you. The strength of the first generation of Iron Man mecha is not high. Jinin in Hokage. Rear Admiral in One Piece can be destroyed with one blow. The only advantage is that the flight speed is fast, and Marine Admiral may not be able to catch up. Tony. Damn, you didn't see my heroic appearance. You will remember the only time I was out of the mold. How can it be fun to play? Yan Lingji. No way. Who asked the leader to rescue you? Tony. What do you mean? Yan Lingji. The leader of the team is so handsome. Of course many girls pay attention. Tony. No, it's not scientific. I'm also handsome. Why am I so handsome, but no one pays attention? Evil King True Eye. Our poison tongue is not my fault. District Golden Retriever. Vomit. Tony. Did you eat something wrong at the party just now? Tony's face is full of black lines. He is obviously very handsome. Even if it is an oriental aesthetic, he is also a cool type. Yan Lingji. Being a person must be self-aware, so please allow me to sigh for a while. Tony. I asterisk Yanashi Chen. Okay, you guys are scared of Mengxin, and Mengxin doesn't speak anymore. The strongest dad. Mengxin is probably still familiar with the information of the Superdimensional Internet Cafe. Evil King True Eyes. Dad said yes. Liu He supports Father Whitebeard's view this time. Actually, Yi Chen thought so too. But at this moment, 2 mechanical sounds sounded in the Internet Cafe. Humph. The Fairy Queen logged into the Superdimension Internet Cafe. Diddy, and the sign-in was successful. Ding. The Queen of Ice logged into the Superdimension Internet Cafe, and the sign-in was successful. Internet Cafe. What kind of magic is this? Space magic. Well, what kind of emperor is this? Is it your hands and feet? A red long-haired female knight with a leadership temperament, about 18 or 19 years old, holding a big sword, and looking at the internet cafe point not far from the female knight, a woman of the same age, with a melon face, delicate facial features, wearing a blue and white military cap. With a super good figure and a queen's temperament, is a woman in a blue long-haired military uniform who is holding a knight condensed by ice. Saber pointed at the red-haired female knight with a cold gaze. Did you bring me here? You brought me here. The female knight and the woman in military uniform looked at each other and found the other's surprise. What are you doing? Don't you remember how you got in? Chen was at the counter of the internet cafe, looking at the two girls with queen temperament, and said with a smile, I just finished the mission in the guild, and was planning to go back, when I received that mysterious card. Is this here? Are you the owner of this place? The red-haired female knight said hesitantly, while holding the network card point, and the blue-haired woman in military uniform also led the army to expedition, to kill 400,000 aliens in the north. When she was about to triumph, this network card fell from the sky. She agreed with the voice in her mind with curiosity, and then logged in here. Yes, this is my site. You can call me the leader or the master. Chen said lightly, zero flowers that means everything is your fault. The blue-haired woman in military uniform didn't say a word, and stabbed Chen with a sword. If you look closely, you can see that her eyes are flashing with a strange light, which is an extremely scorching fighting intent. Dare to take action against my brother. I don't know whether to live or die. Luoheo's face turned cold, and he wanted to teach the newcomer a lesson. Don't worry about her. Chen waved his hand to stop Luo Liang. Without his permission, the members of the internet cafe could not hurt each other point blank. When the ice sword of the blue-haired woman was about to stab Chen, the figure of the red-haired female knight flashed in the sky above the center of the sword. The magic sword in her hand slashed fiercely. Pin exclamation point 0. The blade of the ice sword was deflected with a single blow. Oh, it's interesting. I'll cut you first. The blue-haired woman in military uniform, Langbing, looked at the red-haired female knight, grinned, and her fighting intent was lingering. She hadn't met a decent opponent for a long time. Apart from the old stubborn Bud Admiral army in the Empire, this was the first time she had met such a master, and the strength of the girl in front of her was still higher than that of the Bud Admiral army. She has a leadership temperament, and her age is comparable to her. It really suits her taste. Killing. It seems that I have been underestimated. The red-haired female knight felt the blue-haired woman's fighting spirit, and her fighting spirit became lingering. Wait, haven't you noticed yet? At this time, Chen had to remind them, not wanting them to waste time. Perceived what? The two queens looked at Chen with suspicious eyes. This is not your original world, and you can't hurt each other. Otherwise the ice sword of the ice queen just now will be cut off instead of bounced off. Chen explained lightly. The two queens froze slightly when they looked at their weapons for a moment, and there was really no trace of battle. What the hell is this place? P.S. The old rule, I will update chapter 7 tonight, and then wake up tomorrow and update it again. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelos. There you'll find the original version of this story, and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 96, Flame Kaikasujetsu, Demon Fusion Card. You know it's amazing here. Find a computer and sit down, go online and read the information slowly. Seeing that the two newcomers had stopped, Chen asked them to check the internet cafe information by themselves. Computer. The blue-haired woman in military uniform and the red-haired female knight frowned slightly. Computers. Internet access. What the hell? Ugh, what a hassle. Chen was a little helpless. After being able to log into the internet cafe, it became troublesome for them to check the internet cafe information point in the past. It was a spiritual connection. but at most it was only a soul projection, which could directly receive information in the mind point. Of course, there were problems at that time. Kurama and Uchiha Madara were regarded as illusions, and Whitebird was regarded as devil fruit. Luo Heio even regards superdimensional internet cafes as a kind of power, and has been diving for a long time. Only ordinary girls such as Liuha, Zarshizi, Aang Lily, Sage Hui, Alice, and Yan Lingji, who are not as strong as 017, were convinced of the existence of superdimensional internet cafes from the beginning. Of course, there is also the king, the strongest man on earth. Speaking of king, Chen is a little surprised. Because King is very popular in internet cafes, Mutogame and King have a very good relationship because they both have grandmasters in various games and they can chat very well. In addition, when sniping the Dream Demon Legion tonight, King didn't make a shot. Magneto, Kurama, Whitebird, Tony, and Woolyuki feel that he is low-key, so they leave the opportunity to others, and the background is absolutely unfathomable, and they do not despise the reward. Therefore, they all like to make friends with the king. Whitebird also said that he wanted to find some time to chat with the king. Chen sometimes wonders if he should upload the memory video of One Punch Man so that they can see the real strength of King. It is estimated that the members of the internet cafe will drop their jaws. Master Team Leader, are these two cute newcomers? Suddenly, King's figure flashed into the mesh. Really think of King. King appears. King was about to log into dungeon and warriors to upgrade. After seeing the two newcomers, he said hello, you are here, just in time, to explain the rules and information of internet cafes to them. Chen sees the king's appearance, so he will hand over this matter to the king. He hasn't checked the updated items in the space-time store, and he hasn't received this extra reward yet. Okay, the leader. King nodded, and the leader told him to give him face, otherwise he could ask other members to help him at any time. King believes that as long as he behaves well in front of the leader of the group, there will be no harm in the future. Such a strong man actually obeys his words. The red-haired female knight was secretly surprised. The king's aura was very strong at first glance, but he didn't expect to respect the young man so much. Interesting. The blue-haired woman in military uniform grinned. There are so many strong people here, which is really nice and interesting. Net bedroom. Chen took Aqua and Luo Heio back to his room, thinking in his heart, receive the reward, ding. Mission settlement, kill the Dream Demon Legion, get 17,500 membership points. The current membership point is 20,500 points. The best result, the audience VIP, the extra reward for understanding, Demon Fusion card, ding. Suppress GUI, capture cheat, get 5,000 membership points. Current membership points 27,500. The mission 3 people get a random chance to strengthen. Whether to strengthen, Chen, Luo Heio, and Aqua almost simultaneously recited and strengthened, ding. Luo Heio's power is strengthened, the power restriction is lifted, and the effect is improved, ding. Aqua's godhead is strengthened, and all attributes are improved, ding. Master Chen's soul has been strengthened, Ryatsu has been greatly improved, and Zanpakuto has advanced to the level of God. Zanpakuto, Flaming Kaikasu Jetsu, Flame Kaikasu Jetsu, Zanpakuto, equivalent to X-Noble Phantasm, greatly enhances the power of fire and illusion. Kaikasu Jetsu can create inherent enchantments and form an independent illusion space. In the illusion space, you can burn everything in the world. Flame Kaikasu Jetsu. Chen didn't expect the random enhancement to be so strong this time, and upgraded Zanpakuto to an artifact, which led to his Ryatsu also being elevated to a terrifying realm. Certainly better than Captain Yamamoto in the Shinigami world. Estimation and Fusion Hyokuzazen have a match. As for the Spirit King and the Shinigami world, it is temporarily incomparable. The existence of the Spirit King is equivalent to the will of the planet. It is only that the Spirit King fell into an endless slumber before being taken advantage of by the final Villanueva batch. It seems that Aizen and the others want to catch up with themselves, and it is difficult. It was not Uchiha Madara, Whitebird, Luo Liang or Athena who might have caught up with Chen in internet cafes, but Aizen. If Aizen absorbs the infinite evolution of Gyokkou, he will definitely reach the level of the Spirit King, and maybe even surpass it. But Yi Chen's Zanpakuto has surpassed Aizen by one level. Ryatsu is not too far away from the realm of the Spirit King. Aizen has not yet started to integrate with Gyokkou. The gap has been significantly opened. Brother, there is no limit to my power, and I can cultivate to a higher realm. At this time, Luoheo hugged Yi Chen happily. Because of the limitations of the world, she has been the crown god for 200 years, and her strength has almost stayed the same. Luoheo felt a little regretful in her heart. If the upper limit of the world is higher, her achievement must be higher, and now there is no limit to the power. Not only the effect has been improved, but her upper limit has also been raised. Achin, my godhead has been strengthened. Hahaha, if I go back to the heaven, I will be able to get a promotion. The little girl Eris will definitely envy me by then. Aqua also hugged Yi Chen and laughed silly. She really didn't expect her luck to be so good, and she actually improved her godhead. Not only all attributes will be improved, but her status will also be improved. In the heavens, the most important status is to look at the godhead. In the past, Aqua was the middle god, but now it is the upper god, so the status is naturally rising. She, Aqua, needs a lot more of the goddess's subordinates, as long as you are happy. Yi 3.7 patted Aqua's head and said in her heart, I'm sorry, those goddesses who want to be with Aqua, don't blame me, you can only blame your bad luck. Hee. Achin, what gift do you need? I will bring it to you in the treasure house of heaven. After I get promoted. Aqua said with a smile, whatever, as long as it won't affect you. Yi Chen thought about it and said, before she was promoted, she thought of using power for personal gain. As expected of Aqua, it's okay, it's not the first time I've done this kind of thing. Aqua said boldly. Yi Chen's mouth twitched, not knowing what to say. Brother, have you gained anything? Luoheo asked. My Ryatsu is stronger, and I got this card. Yi Chen took out a card, pure black with a bad badge on it, which looked very mysterious. Chapter 97, the first updated list of internet cafes. Achin, this kind of card looks very strange. Aqua muttered that she hated demons the most. Demons and celestials are natural enemies. The card has the power of the law. Luo Liang's glazed eyes flashed a light, and he understood some of the rules of the card. Yes, it is a kind of law. The effect is to merge two kinds of power to advance, but it must be a power related to demons. After a pause, Yi Chen regretted slightly. It would be great if it was a fusion of two divine powers. In this way, the divine power of the two gods of disobedience swallowed up by Yi Chen can be perfectly merged, so that he can go to the world of the gods and gain more divine power. It's not bad if it's the power of the devil. Didn't my brother mention before that he wanted to fuse sparkling fruit with thunder fruit? Luoheo said, well, the fusion of sparkling fruit will help me to practice with light and dust. After absorbing thunder fruit, my current martial arts is the master state. If I integrate sparkling fruit, I will enter the realm of the great master, and then I will practice the supreme mind of the Taoist family. Law, the unity of heaven and man. My martial arts can be elevated to the realm of heaven and man, and my combat power will be greatly increased. Yi Chen murmured 20. His martial arts realm is bound to enter the realm of heaven and man. If martial arts are not in the realm of heaven and man, 6th order awakened person, it is really useless. Anyone with the ability of the Logia devil fruit can traverse the world of martial arts. It can't be compared with the cultivators and the various abilities in the anime at all. But once you enter the realm of heaven and man, then the shotgun will be replaced by the cannon. In melee combat of the same level, even immortal cultivators would not dare to go head to head with martial deo celestial beings. Of course it is very difficult to become a god. The next realm of the great master is heaven and man, but the great master is only a 4th order primary awakened person, and it is not even comparable to a 4th order awakened person. But heaven and human are comparable to a 6th order awakened person. The span in the middle is huge. You can imagine, heaven and man, I'll reach it too. Luoheo said with a twinkle in his eyes. What is the difference between heaven and man? How are you graded? It's a mess. Aqua muttered. The hierarchy in heaven is very strict. Servants of gods, sub-gods, lower gods, middle gods, upper gods, god masters, etc. But our internet cafe friends are all messed up. Devil fruit, ninjutsu, magic, reiatsu, inner power, and even the god slayer, which is a wonderful occupation that seizes theocratic power. In Aqua's world, God is that impossible? You want to know? Chen asked. Well, I want to see their level. Aqua nodded. Brother, I also want to know their level. Luoheo also wanted to know. Outside the world of Godslayer, her strength compared with Merlin, Aizen, Uchiha Madara, Magneto, Whitebird, Kurama and others. Well, I'll announce the list of tier 5 and tier 6 in the discussion group, which can be regarded as establishing a list of internet cafes. Chen thought that those who were lower than rank 5 didn't need to be ranked, so they could save face, and those who were more than rank 5 were considered bosses at this time. In the discussion group, Shizi and the others were already asleep. After all, it was already late at night, and they had to go to class tomorrow, and mortals like the cultivators couldn't stand it every night. However, Tony, who is also a mortal, is very active, because he has escaped from trouble, and the sky is high and the sky is free for birds to fly, and there will be no life-threatening threats in the future. The Marvel universe is super safe, thought Tony. Tony. Why don't those two cute newcomers talk, King? Haven't you finished explaining yet, King? Come on, they're all smart, and that's why they ask more detailed questions. While discussing the water group, King was playing games with one hand. At the same time, he was explaining the rules of internet cafes to two newcomers with queen temperament, as well as the interpersonal relationships between internet cafe members and them. He was very patient. Chen felt that the king was a bit awesome. Aishin had 3 users, and the civilians equipped the copy of the dungeon. He even got SSS ratings every time he crossed the map. Amazing. This game-like ability is comparable to that of Muta games at this time. In the discussion group, Chen, at ALL members, send you a strength level statistics table. Tony, the leader of the team, still has this interest. Wisdom water god. That's because this goddess came up with a whim, so Achan announced it. This goddess is amazing. Alice, sure enough, the one who is favored, is always fearless. Alice's tone was sour. Super sour. Tony. Alice Mrs. Vinegard jar overturned. Alice, Mr. Shit, please remember that you can't beat me now. Alice has Merlin's magic power, learned magic skills in the dungeon, and she has recently merged with the T-virus perfectly, awakening her superpowers, but she has not yet mastered it. But Tony can't beat her with Mecha alone. Tony, is this a threat? Tony was screaming for a dog in his heart, and now even a woman can threaten him. However, it seems that there is nothing wrong with thinking about it. There are many women who can threaten him in internet cafes. Tony, forget it. I'm a gentleman, and good men don't fight women. The strongest dad. Everyone, let's take a look at the strength level statistics table. Aizen, I'm looking forward to it too. Uchiha Madara, Aizen, see who is stronger. Aizen, very happy. There is an Avalon Indalian. I don't know where this handsome guy ranks. Assassin Wuliuki. The crows want to strip off 017's own ranking system. Yanlingji. At night, there are a lot of people. Laozi is not you. Laozi. It seems that everyone is looking forward to the ranking. Laozi thought to himself, throughout the ages, who can get rid of the entanglement of fame and fortune? Magneto. I have no hope for my ranking. My body is not yet free from the shackles of mortals. Chen. Father, that's not necessarily the case. Magneto. Hey, then I'll wait and see. Chen. Okay, I've announced it. In an instant, a list appeared. First, list of tier 5, Whitebird, Kurama, Fairy Queen, Ice Queen, Wuliuki. After restoring memory, among them, Whitebird is a half-step 6th order, and Kurama has reached a 6th order in terms of energy. Rank 6 list, Luozi, Merlin, Athena, Aizen, Laozi, Magneto, Uchiha Madara. Chen and Aqua did not make the list. Chen is too lazy to rank himself, leaving a sense of mystery for everyone, and Chen doesn't know what level Aqua's deity is in the heavenly realm. but now that the godhead has been improved, it may reach the 7th level point after the ranking came out. The members of the internet cafe were a little surprised because a few people were not on the list and some people appeared on the list unexpectedly. Chapter 98 The Queen of Ice expresses dissatisfaction. As soon as the list came out, there was a collective uproar in the internet cafe discussion group. Assassin Woolyuki, hey, Goose is actually a 5th order boss. Kurama, I'm rank 5, as expected. Thorenal, is there a problem with this list? The old man is actually a rank 6. It is impossible. The father is not a rank 6. And I didn't reach the rank 5. The strongest dad. Killer lala. The old man is hiding very deep. Laozi is not you Laozi. Actually, I just recently successfully integrated Sage Mode into my mind method, which can absorb natural energy and enter the realm of heaven and man. Strictly speaking, I'm not the real realm of heaven and man. There is an Avalon in Dalian. Old man, your heart and eyes are very bad. You said good. Sage Mode is useless to you, and you can enter the realm of heaven and man. Next time, you won't be inexplicably entered. Level 7. Laozi pretends to be a pig and eats a tiger. His strength has reached rank 6 unconsciously, and he still envy Logia, Tail Beast Bomb, and Ryatsu all day long. Shameless. If it wasn't for the leader's ranking, Merlin would still be in the dark. There is an Avalon in Dalian, and I haven't thought that the leader of Luoheo has surpassed me. After I joined the internet cafe, I became stronger. The leader of the group. Do you have any behind the scenes transactions with her? The system prompts. There is an Avalon in Dalian, who has been silenced by the master Chen. Chen, I haven't been an authority for a long time, and I almost forgot what it's like to be in control. Thank you Merlin for reminding me. Wisdom Water God. Achan Segeo. Luoheo. Brother is awesome. Goddess of wisdom. The wisdom of the concubine tells me that you should say that my brother is so good. That's it. Luoheo. This sect master likes to say that it is great. It is great. Athenason was expressionless. Her eyebrows were slightly in love, but she did not refute. At this time, in the private chat window, there was an Avalon in Dalian. President, let me out. I'll give you a holy relic in the future. Chen, remember what you said. The system prompts. There is an Avalon in Dalian, who has been banned from speaking. There is an Avalon in Dalian. I was wrong, Master Luoheo, but I want to ask, when did you surpass me? Luoliang. Just now. There is an Avalon in Dalian. Is it because of the mission? Merlin was instantly connected. Chen, well, it depends on luck. Last time your luck was not as good as Mutagame's. Mutagame, it's normal, I just drew cards that are useful to me. Magneto, that leader, I don't understand. I'm actually tier 6. To be honest, my body is just a mortal. Although I recently copied the talent of a devil fruit, I'm still a bit far from tier 6. Magneto was a little surprised. He thought he was on the same level as Whitebird, but he didn't expect Whitebird to be half a notch weaker than him. Chen, okay, let me explain the ranking. As long as you have the strength of Marine Admiral, you can enter the 5th rank. The 4 emperors are also in the 5th rank, but in the middle of the 5th rank, the 4 emperors can't kill Admiral in seconds, and Father Whitebird strengthens. After a few times, I can now hammer Admiral, but I can't ignore the alliance of several admirals. In fact, Uchiha Madara without 6 paths, Aizen without Jioku, did not reach rank 6, just very close. After a pause, Chen continued, the 6th order life forms have already begun to be deified. From this point of view, Xioteo, Little Athena, and Merlin know that either gods or demons are extraordinary beings, and they are basically destroyed. The power of the world can single out all the powerhouses of the next level. The strength is not as good as the God Slayer, who can threaten the God Slayer, let alone the god who refuses to obey. And Madara in 6 paths Sage Mode can singled out the entire ninja world. Aizen in Jioku state can also singled out the entire Soul Society. This gap is obvious, not the blurred dividing line of the 4 emperors. Admiral the strongest dad. Kula la la. In this way, I really can't do it. Whitebird's destruction of the world depends on the tsunami and earthquake of shock fruit, which is inferior to Uchiha Madara and Aizen. These two are strong men who can crush the whole world. In the world of Hokage Shinigami, there are many masters of the Admiral 4 Emperor's level. The world of Godslayers is also as strong as clouds. Under the Godslayers, there are as many great magicians and great knights as cattle. However, when they see the Godslayers and see the devil, they dare not resist and cannot resist. Tony. But so, Uchiha Madara has started to gain 6 paths power, and Aizen has started to merge his half of Gyokure power. It's hidden deep. Hearing this, Aizen, I didn't integrate the power of Gyokure, but I found another way to elevate my life. Uchiha Madara, I learned the art of resurrection, made some kind of deal with Shinigami in the underworld, and resurrected myself. These two people didn't want to improve their strength so quickly, because the preparation was not enough. However, in the Godslayer world, he realized that his life level was not high enough, so he went back and used the goods of the time and space store, plus their means, and began to improve his strength. It's not enough that this ranking has exposed it, so let's say it. They are strong and have absolute confidence in themselves. Alice, the big guy is the big guy. Everyone works. Magneto, then why am I level 6? Chen, Mr. Magneto, you have the magnetic force, one of the 4 basic forces of the universe, and the magnetic field of the entire planet is already a 6th order force, but your ability is very general, so you are the weakest. Tier 6. This old man Magneto comes from the Marvel universe of the X-Men series of movies. The ability development is a real dish, just a large magnet, and he did not use his power on the blade at all. Magneto, cough, cough. It seems that I don't know enough about my own power. Magneto's mind is not on strengthening his power, but on his revenge and his ideals. In fact, he also understands that his own ability is not slippery. Fairy Queen, interesting, but why isn't King on the list? He is a 7th order, and the leader of you, and the goddess Aqua, why aren't they on the list? At this time, the new Fairy Queen spoke in the discussion group. Chen, Elsa, are you familiar with the rules of internet cafes so quickly? It's a pity that your question involves some privacy, so I can't answer you. Fairy Queen, it's a pity, but the leader really knows my identity, and I want to come to at least rank 6. Elsa, from the Magic Guild, Fairy Tale, from the world of Fairy Tale, is a genius magician known as the Queen of Fairies with those bright red hair and leadership qualities. Chen recognized her the first time he saw her as 4. The other Ice Queen. She's also bubbling up in the discussion group. Queen of Ice, I'm honored to meet you here. I'm Assets of the Imperial Admiral Army. I'm very interested in your ranking, but I want to verify the reliability of this ranking. I don't know who is willing to join me war. Chen, it seems that Assets, you are a little unconvinced. It's over. Queen of Ice, strong or weak, you have to fight to know. Aestes can be described as lonely as snow in her world, without a rival, which is too lonely for Shake S, who is eager to fight. Just came here, and there is a ranking of the strong. She was curious about where she can rank. The result is almost at the bottom. Those below level 5 are ignored directly. The Fairy Queens who came in at the same time were all in front of her. How could she have no fighting spirit? Goblin Queen, I also want to test my ranking. Urza is also a person who has confidence in herself, so she also wants to see the strength of the bigwigs. Chen, is that so? Then who wants to fight them? Wisdom Water God, Achin, I'll come. Luo Liang, brother, I just want to find someone to test the power of power. Goddess of Wisdom, ruler, concubines don't mind playing with them. Are you all interested? Chen smiled slightly, then let's park together, in the new mode of online games. Chapter 99 New Occupation, New Mode, Free Park Field. Alice, new mode. What new mode? Alice listened to Chen to let Assets and Urza park in the new mode, which should not be the dual field before. Chen, you will know when you log into the dungeon. Aizen, I haven't created a character yet. I'm going to play Devil May Cry. The strongest man on earth. Shinigami playing Devil May Cry is kind of funny. Wisdom Water God. Devil May Cry, isn't it the same as Achin? Aizen, no. The leader can play several numbers at the same time. Luo brother, why is there no female ghost sword? I also want to play Devil May Cry. Luoz wants to play the same profession as Chen, with men and women matching, and working without tiring. The strongest man on earth Master Luoheo, this time we have updated the female ghost sword, male fighting, female gunslinger, male mage, and female clergyman. King is already in the game, and the fatigue value has been brushed by half, so it is very clear what this update is. Luoheo, really, Luo's heart was overjoyed. Her luck was so good, it was God who helped me. Yi Chen, what King said is true. Although Yi Chen hasn't logged into the online game yet, he knows the content of the update. Goddess of Wisdom. Unfortunately, the concubine played magician before. Little Athena also wanted to play a profession with Yi Chen. Wisdom Water God. Can you delete the number and retrain? Yi Chen, this is really okay. 020 the dungeon can delete the account, and the internet cafe has not changed this setting. Wisdom Water God. Hahaha, then I'll delete the number. Yi Chen, I don't think you should delete your account. There's nothing wrong with being a magician, or you can change to a female clergyman. Yi Chen can't imagine the scene where Aqua plays with the female ghost sword and fights with the sword. I think it's best for her to be an honest support. Wisdom Water God. Female priesthood, light department. That girl Eris is the goddess of luck and darkness. Hee. Then I will be a priest. Aqua was very envious of Eris' popularity and even said she was jealous, so it was meaningless for a profession with the opposite attribute to Eris. Uchiha Madara, by the way, why is there no ninja profession? Kurama, yeah, why is there no profession of orc? Yi Chen, there is a future for the profession of ninja, but it is a woman. You can choose to be a woman's boss. As for orcs, I really can't help. Uchiha Madara, women's clothing, how is that possible? Just kidding. Uchiha Madara is so likely to wear women's clothes, and it is impossible for him to wear women's clothes in this life. Kurama, then I'll choose a male mage. Queen Yaoji, a game. Do you need level 20? Queen of Ice, level 20 doesn't take too long, with our strength. Yi Chen, no. This update is a bit special. You can enter the park field if you choose a profession. Just level 1. Queen of Ice. That's really good. Then I'll go into the game and open a room to wait for you. If possible, I hope Lord Master can be there as a witness. The corners of Asti's mouth were slightly raised, with her abacus in her heart. Yi Chen, no problem. Yi Chen smiled. It seemed that Astes even wanted to challenge him. Challenging him in an internet cafe would undoubtedly be killing him. Even in online games, Astes couldn't beat Yi Chen. In the previous life, Yi Chen was a black dog in the supreme rank in the park field of the dungeon. Ice Queen, thank you. I'm looking forward to this fight. After all, Astes created a character in the internet cafe, and it was no accident that her chosen profession was the female ghost sword. In the future, I plan to change my profession. A demon contractor. An awakening is sword demon. Astes likes this wild, demonic bloodthirsty profession, and Urza is a magician, but she is a magic knight who constantly changes swords and armors. Therefore, I also chose the female ghost sword, and the future career transfer direction is the swordsman, that is, the sword sect, the profession of Kenzan, the Grandmaster sword, giant sword, blunt weapon, short sword. In addition, the swordsman has a skill, magic sword, a rival, which can freely switch attributes, add magical power, and add effects such as flame explosion, cold air freezing, lightning, and scorching flames. Perfect for Urza. Urza's dressing magic is to switch between different CAD armors to fight, such as water armor, thunder armor, giant armor, fairy armor, and so on. So Urza likes the profession of sword sect very much. After Astes and Urza have chosen their careers and decided on the direction of career change in the future, they log into the game. In the cutscenes of the game, the two queens have seen the female ghost sword as an experiment for transferring otherworldly energy of an empire, and a big explosion occurred, causing almost all the girls to die, and only a few women. Baby, the arm got the transfer energy and survived. The two queens are quite touched after the tragic childhood fate of the female ghost sword, because Acids and Urza had a bad childhood. Astes' father and clan were destroyed by aliens, and the whole clan was only survived by her, who was hunting outside at that time. So Astes knows the truth of the weak and the strong. Urza was a child laborer in a mine when she was a child. She was enslaved by the black magic sect and lost her right eye. The magic power was awakened because of the sacrifice of an old grandfather who helped her, and she later joined Fairy Tale Point. But the same tragic childhood made the two queens have diametrically opposite outlooks on life. In fact, Aestes does not believe in anyone, but only believes in his own strength, likes to enjoy fighting, likes to abuse the enemy. He is a super trembling S. But the queen also has a girl-like love heart, and is unswerving in love. Urza cherishes her companions, is bold and straightforward, and is willing to work hard for her companions and the guild. The two queens can be said to be opposite types, and the direction of career change in their hearts is also head. Interesting story. The fate of the female ghost sword will be changed by me. After Aestes entered the game, his eyes were firm. It's real. Urza felt the same, and felt a lot of emotion, and she didn't know if there really was a girl as tragic as the female ghost sword in another world. Point at this time in the internet cafe, Chen reminded, you come out on the street and click on the new function, free park field. But, after simply completing the main task of saving Celia, Assets entered the street in the game and clicked on the new function in the lower right corner, free park field, ding. Open the free park field, ding. Holographic projection connection, 100% synchronized to the real space. For a moment, Aestes felt that he was connected to another world in his mind, and then closed his eyes. And in the game space, the figure of Aestes appeared. Chen, what's the situation? It's different from my last park. Aqua asked curiously. The previous park field experience was just empathy, which made you feel like entering the game and fighting people, but now it is completely synchronized to the game world, which is equivalent to entering the game world with your real body. Chen smiled lightly. Chapter 100, The Gap Between God and Man. Real experience? The seawater here is also real. So interesting. In a park field with Wan Yang as the background, Aestes stood on the frozen sea and smiled. It seems that the master has chosen a good venue for her, where she has a favorable location. Fighting is about doing it yourself. I like it. After Aestes entered the free park field, Urza, wearing the armor of black feathers, also appeared above the sea. Unlike Aestes standing on the ice, Urza is flying in the air, more imposing, flying Tigu. It's interesting. Aestes squinted his blue icy eyes slightly. Urza ranked ahead of her. Could it be because of her ability to fly? If it wasn't for the challenge of the 6th order powerhouses, Aestes would now want to fight Elsa first. At this moment, in the internet cafe, Aqua said with a smile, Chen, I'm logged in. Chen nodded. Well, let's go. Then, Aqua clicked to enter the free park field, and closed her eyes naturally. Brother, why don't we log in together? Luo Tao held Chen's hand, his eyes emitting a request. Okay. Chen didn't reject Luo's request, hugged Luo's immortal body of Muna, and logged into the free park arena together. And after Luo Heo logged in, Athena also appeared in the internet cafe. Seeing Chen holding Luo Yang together, she also came over and sat on the other side of Chen to log into the game. Shh, King, you're here too. After Chen and Luo Heo logged into the free park arena, they accidentally discovered King's figure. It's such an interesting place. I definitely have to log in, but it's a pity that brushing the dungeon can't achieve the effect of coming in person. King said regretfully. If a dungeon can do that, it is a true holographic projection, a 100% synchronized virtual reality game, which is similar to a fantasy online game novel. That function will be available sooner or later, but it's not a good thing for you if you can brush the copy yourself. Chen looked at the king and said deeply, could it be that, if you experience it yourself, your own attributes will be accurately counted in the game? King, as a game expert, immediately thought of some problems. What do you think? Chen said with a chuckle. King suddenly felt that it was better not to come so early that day. However, King didn't know that when that day came, the benefits he got were much greater than the average person. Cola la la, is this the free park field? Interesting. At this time, Whitebird and several netizens also logged into this space. Whitebird, let's discuss it another day. Aside, Magneto. King Road, yes, here we can let go of our hands and feet to fight, and we don't need to keep our hands. Whitebud's shock fruit is so destructive that he rarely hits maximum power, and there's no scruples here. Everyone is here. Let's get started. At this time, Acids held the ice sword and pointed at the three goddesses of Aqua, Eluozi, and Athena, and said pointers looked at Aqua and the other three girls at the same time, wondering who her opponent was. It's time to start. Acids, you and Urza go together and deal with any one of the three of them. If you can hold on for 3 rounds, you will win. Chen smiled lightly point in an instant. Acids and Urza's faces turned blue, and they were asked to play 2 against 1, and they could win, as long as they held on for 3 rounds. Do you really think they belong to Mudbane? Don't be unconvinced. As long as you can hold on for 3 rounds, I can fulfill your little wish, such as resurrecting the dead. I can do it. Chen offered something they couldn't refuse condition. Okay, that's what you said. Acids agreed instantly, and there were people who wanted to resurrect Urza, so there was no objection. Let's challenge her first. After a brief discussion with Urza, Acids pointed at little Athena and said point as a female general. She is not a foolhardy person. Point Aqua is not on the list. It is hard to estimate. Point Luoheo is ranked above Athena and is the strongest internet cafe except Chen. Athena is a little lolly and looks much weaker than Luoheo. My concubine's wisdom tells me that your choices are stupid. Point a trace of dissatisfaction quickly flashed across Athena Sanwoo's small face. Point to treat her as a soft persimmon and to rank after Aqua, a goddess who can only act stupid and cute, is really an insult to her. Stupid. You won't know until you beat it. Acids sneered, leaped up and threw her ice sword. The ice sword just flew past Athena's left face, and Athena didn't move. Boring means. Athena said lightly, HMPH, do you think I'm just frightening you? A cunning arc flashed at the corner of Acids' mouth, and behind her, an iceberg larger than a giant fell from the sky. Zero asking for flowers and the ice sword stab thrown out also quickly freezes on the sea surface. After the frozen sea, a giant peak-like ice cone emerges. The 2 icebergs bombarded little Athena back and forth, which was unavoidable. Point boom. The iceberg collided with the ice cone and exploded, and Athena was directly frozen inside. Point level 6 isn't so good either. Acids thought to himself, what a powerful ice control ability. His strength skills are not weaker than Aokiji, or even stronger. Whitebud sighed in approval. Acids is indeed a tier 5 powerhouse, but is this attack really useful to Athena? Even if there is no mystery suppression in the park field, Magneto doubts Acid's attack power. Sure enough, the voice just fell. 0.0 crack. Athena in the iceberg suddenly appeared. Mysterious black light and countless cracks appeared suddenly on the icebergs and ice peaks that slammed together on the sea. Wow. In an instant, the iceberg shattered. Instead of melting, it turned into nothingness, as if it were dead. How could this be? Acids broke out in a cold sweat. Why did he feel the breath of death on the little girl across from him? Point is this the goddess? Hades' return. At this time, Athena floated indifferently in the air and slowly walked towards Acids. Behind her, the whole world became dark. The ice layer on the sea was in blacken, like the underworld eroding the world. Acids quickly retreated, but no matter how she retreated, she couldn't keep up with the speed of Hades' erosion. Damn it. Acids was sweating profusely, and she had a feeling that, if her feet touched the black air of the underworld on the ground, she would die immediately. Look at the move. Black feather moon flash. At this time, Urza saw that Acids was out of the way, and she sent a vigorous thrust from the air, directly hitting Athena's abdomen. However, the sprint that was enough to run through the mountains and rivers failed to pierce Athena's seemingly weak body. How is that possible? Urza couldn't believe how this Athena's divine body was constructed. Death's embrace. Athena touched Urza's handsome face with her small hands and let out a light breath. Urza's pupils became dark, and she lost all signs of life. An instant kill without resistance. Whitebud and Magneto both gasped. This is the gap between gods and mortals. The end of this chapter. Thank you very much for reaching the end. Don't forget to like. Looking for more exclusive content and immediate access? Subscribe to our Patreon. Remember, every like, subscription, or donation encourages us to continue. Thanks to everyone. See you in the next video.